Dr. Pepper Championship Drive Game of the Week.
Welcome to college football on ABC, presented by Arby's. A 72-degree day in Norman, Oklahoma, as the fourth-ranked Sooners host Texas Tech. Oklahoma owns the nation's longest active winning streak at 16 straight entering today, and an 8-0 record in 2021. But it's been a bumpy road to an unbeaten record. 5 of the Sooners' wins have been by a touchdown or less. Struggled week 1 against Tulane. Came from behind to beat West Virginia. Trailed by 21 in the first quarter against Texas. That's when they made the quarterback change, going from Spencer Rattler to Caleb Williams. And then last week against Kansas, they were trailing at halftime, yet won the game, and here they are 8-0. And have the inside track at another Big 12 championship and another spot in the college football playoff. Dave Pasch with Dusty Dvorak, Tom Luginbill down on the field. So, Dusty, what's the mindset of this Oklahoma team? Because yes, 8-0, but everybody's still poking holes in what they've done so far.
No question, but this team does know how to win football games. However you draw it up, the object is still to win games, and they've done that every time they've gone out this year. But consistency is the key. They've got to be more consistent offensively, and especially on the defensive side. Supposed to be a strength of this team coming in. It's been a weakness. If they can put it all together these final 4 games, they will find themselves in position to achieve all the lofty expectations and goals they had before the season.
So 2.5 games ago, they made the quarterback change, going from the young man that was the Heisman Trophy frontrunner coming into the season in Spencer Rattler. They go to true freshman Caleb Williams, and the offense has been more productive.
It's been extremely more productive, more explosive, and Caleb Williams has made these clutch, gotta have it type of plays. Season-changing, season-saving type of plays. How about 4th and 1, down 21 on your own side of the field? No problem. Caleb Williams inserted, takes it 66 to the house. Same game, 4th quarter, down 8. 3rd and 19, got to make a play. Man, puts it up, and Marvin Mims finishes it off. And then last week against Kansas, similar situation, 4th and 3, takes it 40 to the house. And how about this? The situational awareness of this play helps secure the win by ripping it out of Kennedy Brooks' hands. This true freshman has been fantastic, and the game-changing type of plays he's already made early on in his tenure has got a lot of people going, wow, this kid is something special.
Meanwhile, on the other side, Texas Tech decided to fire its head coach Matt Wells this week. They're 8 games into the season. They're 5-3. It's not like they're 1-7, but they fired Matt Wells. Sonny Cumbie is the interim coach, and Tom Luginbill has more on what to expect today.
Well, I tell you, Dave, he's got a lot on his plate. When you find out at 11 a.m. on this past Monday, which is a huge preparation day, you're really scrambling trying to catch your bearings. So I think there's 4 areas that are really important for Sonny Cumbie. Prioritize the players. Make sure the players come first in every facet of this program. Number 2, avoid wholesale changes to your schedule. Players are creatures of habit. They're creatures of routine. You want to keep everything status quo throughout the week so your players stay comfortable. And then you got to manage the game. He moves from the booth down to the field. You got to make sure you have the game managed, substitution, who's making different calls. That's all on him now. He's the head coach. He's not just coaching the offense. And then lastly, have some fun. He played the movie Gladiator for his team this week. They did some things post-practice to kind of get the team involved, let them know, hey, everything's okay. So Sonny Cumbie's got a great opportunity here today.
Texas Tech has lost 9 in a row, though, to Oklahoma. The last win came in Norman when Oklahoma was number 1 back in 2011. Sooners and Red Raiders. Kickoff is next. You're watching the Big 12 Conference on ESPN. A packed house here in Norman with Halloween tomorrow. And the Sooners ranked 4th in the country. They dropped a spot in the polls. The first college football playoff rankings will be Tuesday. And Oklahoma with a game lead over Baylor. You watched just moments ago on ABC, the Bears with Dave Aranda. Certainly one of the candidates for Coach of the Year. Knocked off Texas, which is now under 500 in conference play. Texas Tech won the toss and elected to receive that Sooner defense, which a lot of people thought would be really good in 2021 has not been yet. As we said, they're sitting here 8-0 now. Their schedule is really tough down the stretch. They have a bye week next week, then they go to Baylor, host Iowa State, and finish up with Bedlam at Oklahoma State. Gabe Burkich kicking it deep. This will be a touchback and come out to the 25-yard line. Tyler Shuck was the starting quarterback at the beginning of the year, but he got hurt in the Texas game, and Henry Colombi came in. He's from Hollywood, Florida. He's a senior. He started his collegiate career at Utah State. He played for Matt Wells there. Wells was the head coach at Texas Tech until Monday. Got fired. And he started the last 4 games, but he has just 1 touchdown during that stretch. They do have Donovan Smith, the redshirt freshman quarterback that they like to use in the run game, but might we see more of Smith today as if Colombi struggles? He's taking a shot here on first down, and that pass was on the money and pulled in. It came out, though, as the receiver went out of bounds, Geiger, and so it is incomplete. Looked like Geiger had it until he went to the ground.
Well, it's a perfectly placed ball by Henry Colombi, and Geiger catches the football as he's going out. Outstanding job there by Key Lawrence, making his first start at corner, knocking that ball away at the last second.
Lawrence, a transfer from Tennessee. Play action, and a dump off to Price out in space. And Price is close to the first down. He's just short by a yard, so 3rd and 1 coming up.
Good pursuit there by the Oklahoma defense. Tackling been an issue the last couple of weeks. Nice job in the open field by Miles Price. Kind of really starting to get in the fold more and more the last couple of games. Dynamic with the football in his hands.
So Columbia had to go to the sideline to get the call from Sonny Cumbie, who is the interim head coach as well as the offensive coordinator and the quarterback's coach. Sonny played at Texas Tech, coached here for a while, then left for TCU for 7 years. In his first year back, and now they're interim head coach. They run it on 3rd down and nowhere to go for SaRodorick Thompson. Pushed back by 3 Sooners, led by Isaiah Thomas, 4th down.
Well, this is what this defensive line has been looking for. Watch Isaiah Thomas, going to create penetration and disruption. Splits the double team, gets into the backfield. Then Caleb Kelly, Brian Asamoah join him. It's one element of this defense that has to happen. The defensive line being active, getting up the field, penetrate, disruptive. Big stop there on 3rd and short. Build some confidence for this defensive line.
Austin McNamara, who is a very good punter, on to boot it away. Mims has to move to his left, and it sails out of bounds. We're seeing where it crossed. Right at the 20-yard line. So Spencer Rattler was the Heisman frontrunner coming into the year. His numbers weren't terrible, but clearly the team had a different look when Caleb Williams came into the game against Texas, and they have not looked back offensively, although again that first half last week they did not score, but they put up 35 points in the second half, and Williams was a big reason why. He had a run play on 4th down for a touchdown, took the ball out of Kennedy Brooks' hands when it looked like they were going to get stopped for a loss on 4th down late in the game, and ended up getting a first down that sealed the win. Play action pass and a drop ball at the 25-yard line by Mims. 2nd down.
And Caleb Williams is just giving this offense a spark. They needed some energy, needed some juice, and with both his play on the field and some of the intangibles he brings from a leadership perspective, got that infectious personality, it's really taken this offense to the level we're accustomed to seeing under Lincoln Riley.
He'll throw it on 2nd down and 10. Everybody covered, and he's wrapped up and sacked. Back inside the 15-yard line by Tyree Wilson, his 5th sack of the year. This is a better Texas Tech defense than we've seen in previous years.
No question. Good coverage down the field. Tyree Wilson's the best defensive lineman they have, but as Caleb Williams surveys the field, nowhere to go with the football, and then it's a good job pushing the pocket by Tyree Wilson. He's 6'6", 275, got those long levers, and he's really put together an outstanding season here for the Red Raider defense.
Transfer from Texas A&M a year ago. So 3rd down and 16. Pressure again on Williams. Escapes the pocket. Looking downfield, and a one-handed catch by Hazelwood for a first down.
Wow, big time play here by Jadon Haselwood. First, it's Caleb Williams breaking the pocket, and you see Haselwood on the deep crossing route. One hand, no problem. What a play.
And then on a wide receiver screen, they come back to Haselwood, and he loses a yard on the play. 32 catches now for Jadon Haselwood, who missed most of last year due to injury.
Hey, Dusty, I'll tell you, I love it when they move the pocket too with Caleb Williams. His dynamic running ability really strains the defense. When you get him outside on the perimeter, you can't just defend pass because he can take off and run on you.
They'll hand it off to Brooks on second down. Oh, he gets tattooed at the 37-yard line. Still got 3 or 4 yards, but a big hit by Taylor Demerson coming down from his safety spot.
That's the counter play that's a staple of this Oklahoma offense. Expect to see a heavy dose of that with Kennedy Brooks. Well defended there on second down by Texas Tech.
Lincoln Riley, 5th year as the head coach. Like Sonny Cumbie, he was a player, a walk-on at Texas Tech. Graduated from there in 2006. Low snap, picked up by Williams, in trouble. On the move, being chased, and fires it out of bounds. It's 4th down and 6, and Oklahoma will punt it.
Bad snap here from Robert Conjul. In center right now. That ball is on the ground. Caleb Williams tries to scramble, make a play. Misfires to West on the sidelines, and big stop there for Keith Patterson and this Texas Tech defense.
They better figure out how to block 95, Dusty. He's right up your alley, defensive tackle, causing all kinds of problems up the middle.
Jalen Hutchings.
The Michael Turk, normally an excellent punter, but that's a wobbly kick that sails out of bounds. Turk averages 52 yards per punt. That's not what the Sooners were hoping for. No score early on a beautiful day in Norman. Sonny Cumbie and Lincoln Riley were at Texas Tech together in many capacities. Riley was in the quarterback room when Sonny was the starter in 2004. He was a GA, Lincoln was, when Cumbie came back to coach. And then they coached together and actually talked to each other before the game, catching up, and two really good friends. You felt that maybe calmed Sonny down?
I did. We talked to Sonny Cumbie yesterday. He's got a lot on his plate this week, the short week and everything that this team has dealt with. And I think seeing Lincoln, remembering the times they've had together, I think that was probably a calming moment for Sonny Cumbie.
Here's the swing pass behind the line of scrimmage. They're trying to get Ezukama out in space. He's their best player, and he's knocked out of bounds into the Texas Tech bench by Asamoah after a gain of 9. I mean, one of the things that Sonny told us yesterday, he's like, look, some of the things that I have to worry about as a head coach, I'm not used to, but the biggest thing is I don't want to disrupt the players at all. I want everything to feel the same for the players going into this game, so they're not thinking about what's going on over on the sideline.
Routine regimen, the exact same, and he talked about having energy, enthusiasm, and having fun today.
On 2nd and 1, they give it to Thompson, and he gets the first down out to the 46-yard line. 3-time captain, so Roderick Thompson missed a couple games early in the season with injury, but is back. He's got 8 touchdowns on the season.
Strong, sturdy runner who lowers his pad level on contact, and he's been an outstanding player for this Tech offense for several years now. Good to get him back healthy, and he's really made a difference.
Play fake, and the pass is caught at the 49 of Oklahoma by Kalen Geiger. Sonny told us yesterday really wants to get both Geiger and Ezukama involved more. They had a combined 3 catches for 3 yards combined last week in a loss to Kansas State. Columbi with time, late pressure, gets the pass off, and it's off the fingertips of Thompson, incomplete.
Really good right there by Henry Columbi. Justin Broiles came on a late pressure, and an excellent job sidestepping that pressure, locating his running back. That's a pass that SaRodorick Thompson's got to be able to come down with.
That's a difference between 3rd and 5 and 3rd and 10 right there, Dusty.
No doubt.
So 3rd and 5 at the 49 of Oklahoma.
Keep an eye on number 11, Nick Benito. They need him to have his presence felt, one of the premier pass rushers in college football.
And Columbi's pass batted down, incomplete. And again, it's Isaiah Thomas.
Well, you are taught as a defensive lineman on pass plays and quick game like this, if you're not going to get there, get your hands up. Isaiah Thomas recognizes quick game right there in the throw lane, gets his hand up. And the second time here early on third down, the senior defensive lineman with a big play.
Had 8.5 sacks a year ago. He's got a handful this year. McNamara to punt for the second time. Mims is the deep man. And the fair catch is made at the 5. 44-yard punt, no return. All right, time for today's Aflac trivia question. So we talked about Sonny Cumbie back in 2004 being the starting quarterback. They won the Holiday Bowl against Cal. Who was the quarterback that year for Cal? And if you don't know this, it means you're probably very young.
I know it, but I mean, you don't want me to spoil it already, do you?
This isn't even a hard one.
Well, that's what I mean. You got to be really young
easy
and not remember 2004 to not know who was the quarterback for Cal back in 04. I'll give you a hint. He went on to be a pretty good NFL player.
I think he's still playing.
I believe so.
You might have saw him the other night.
I believe that I did in an unfortunate capacity with his team winning. Here's a pass out in space to true freshman Mario Williams, but it's well defended. Doesn't get much. 2 or 3.
Good to see Mario Williams back healthy. Had to miss last week's game, and the true freshman, I believe, Tom, you had him as the #1 wide receiver coming out. He's got such speed, dynamic playmaking ability, but he really hasn't shown it too much this season.
Williams, everybody covered again. Now a receiver comes wide open. It's Drake Stoops out to the 40-yard line. A gain of 32 and a first down.
Nice piece of route running here by Drake Stoops. Big soft spot in this zone, and Caleb Williams locates the sure-handed inside receiver. Nice job by Drake Stoops with a big explosive play here early.
He had 3 catches against Kansas last week. Now 12 on the season. And here's Williams running the football, trying to get to the edge. Spins away from a defender. Out of bounds at the 45, but he's a dynamic runner. 4 rushing touchdowns on the season for Williams.
Was quarterback counter going to pull backside guard, backside tackle, well blocked. And a little B button spin move there by Caleb Williams before he's escorted out of bounds. So dangerous as a runner, like that thick lower build, and you can see he's got some moves to go along with it.
So on 2nd down and 4, get a flag offside, taking the shot here and thrown out of bounds. Another flag is thrown. Boy, that had to be uncatchable downfield, though. The pass was thrown out of bounds to West with Malik Dunlap in coverage.
Smart there by Caleb Williams, sees the offsides, knows he's got a free play, take your shot. And then Malik Dunlap's got to know exactly where he's at. The discussion over here, I think, is exactly what you mentioned there, Dave. Was that ball catchable?
There are 2 fouls on the play, both by the defense. Offside, number 90, defense. That penalty is declined. Pass interference, number 8, defense. That penalty will be enforced. 15 yards previous spot, automatic, first down.
Dunlap never gets his head turned around. A little shove to Trayvon West as he goes out of bounds, but
isn't that the definition of uncatchable? When you catch the ball 4 yards out of bounds, whether you're pushed or not?
I would say yes. It definitely appeared that he would have needed a go-go gadget arm to be able to go up and get that one.
So first down to the Texas Tech 40-yard line. Oklahoma in Red Raider territory for the first time today. And it's play action for Williams. Setting up and throwing deep. Overshooting the intended receiver. Trayvon West took another shot to West.
Take a look at these impacts. Kennedy Brooks has had such an impact on this season, well on his way to his 3rd 1,000-yard year. And then Tyree Wilson, we've already called his name a couple of times here early. He's done an excellent job so far. Now 5 sacks on the season. He really has been a key cog in the defensive line for Keith Patterson's defense.
This is an improved Texas Tech defense. Really the only time they had a bad day was against Texas. They gave up 70, although it wasn't entirely by the defense. Coming across the middle is Hazelwood with some running room inside the 25 and dropped at the 23-yard line. First down, a gain of 17.
Essentially just a little underneath screen. You'll see Drake Stoops come across. And since that pass is thrown at or behind the line of scrimmage, you can block with that ball in the air. Well executed and drawn up play there by the Sooners.
Sixth play of the drive coming up here for Oklahoma. Williams gonna keep it, and he gets upended at the line of scrimmage by Eric Monroe.
That's well played there by Texas Tech. He wanted to check it down in the flats to Eric Gray. He was defended. Caleb Williams recognized it, and good pursuit to the football from the Red Raider defense.
They're on the cusp of the red zone where they are the #1 team in the country. 45 red zone trips. 34 of those have gone for touchdowns. They're at the 22 right now, second down and 9. Williams changing things up here. He'll throw it. Has time. Waiting for a receiver to come free. Now he takes off. And now he throws it. Back of the end zone. It's caught. Mario Williams. Touchdown, Oklahoma. That was all Caleb Williams there.
Well, you called it, partner. This is all Caleb Williams. He checks at the line of scrimmage. He wanted to go to Hazelwood in the one-on-one. It was well covered. Nobody's open down the field, and Houdini gets out of it, and then Mario Williams comes open in the corner of the end zone. True freshman to true freshman. Big-time play by Caleb Williams, and a confidence-building type of catch there for the freshman, Mario Williams.
Third touchdown catch for Williams. Mario Williams, 9th touchdown pass for Caleb Williams, no relation. And the point after by Burkich makes it 7-0 Sooners.
Well, this freshman has put on a show so far, and nothing changes here. Nowhere to go with the football, buy some time, and it's the Sooners on top early here in Norman.
College football on ABC is presented by Arby's. We have the meats.
In 2004, Sonny Cumbie had a day as Texas Tech beat Cal in the Holiday Bowl. He threw for 520 yards and 3 touchdowns. And we answer the Aflac trivia question. Who was the quarterback for Cal that he beat that day in 2004?
A-Rod, Mr. Aaron Rodgers. You were there the other night calling your Cardinals against the Packers. That was a heck of a ball game.
17 years later, he's still playing. 37 years old, Aaron Rodgers. Sonny Cumbie, meanwhile, now the interim head coach of Texas Tech after Matt Wells was fired in the middle of his 3rd season with a 13-17 record. They're 1 win away from being bowl eligible for the first time since 2017. Geiger will run it out here for Texas Tech, and he gets leveled. And the ball comes out at the 17-yard line, and the Sooners say they have it. What a huge hit on special teams.
This would be huge if Texas Tech can find a way to get on top of it. They need to come out and have a fast start.
Yeah, they got it back. Geiger came up with it after he got drilled.
He gets drilled. It's true freshman Danny Stutzman who comes in second. A big hit, and that ball comes squirting out. High ceiling for that true freshman linebacker, and getting it done on special teams as well. But man, heads up job by Kalen Geiger after taking a blow like that with the wherewithal to locate that football and pull it in.
Texas Tech's got to sustain something here, guys. They've got to keep this Oklahoma offense on the sideline.
Crowd getting into it, Tom.
They have been in Oklahoma territory, but that was just at the 49-yard line. They run Xavier White here, and he's thrown forward for about 6 yards out to the 23. Brian Asamoah, the leading tackler for Oklahoma, made the stop.
This Oklahoma defense really trying to find its identity. The last couple of weeks, the defensive line hasn't played up to the level they want. You know, linebackers coach Brian Odom wants his group to play better. I think overall this entire defense recognizes they need to step up their level of play.
Colombi has a completion. Miles Price short of the line to gain by about a yard. So to Tom's point, big third down here to try to keep Caleb Williams and that Oklahoma offense on the sideline.
And here we see Donovan Smith, big 6'5", 230-pound quarterback. Love the quarterback run game here. You can go split zone, quarterback read, also quarterback counter, something they like here with the big redshirt freshman.
He's 6'5", 230 pounds. His dad is the running backs coach on the Texas Tech staff. He will keep it here and get a first down out to the 30-yard line.
This was a problem last week, Dusty, for this Oklahoma defense. One of the reasons why the defense couldn't get off the field is they couldn't stop quarterback run versus Kansas.
Yeah, that's exactly what we thought it'd be. Split zone, read, quarterback keep, and to your point, Jason Bean had a field day with that exact play a week ago.
He's thrown it 5 times, completed 4, 2 rushing touchdowns on the season. We'll see if we see more of Donovan Smith as we go along here. First down for Texas Tech, just short of its 30-yard line. Colombi to throw, and Ezukama's there, spins away from one man, makes a sweet move, and gets the first down out across the 40-yard line.
Locate 13 should be at the top of the things to do offensively for Texas Tech. Eric Ezukama is 6'3", 220, so difficult to tackle. And Key Lawrence, who had an outstanding game at safety a week ago, now playing corner today for the first time all season. Ever since Woody Washington has gone down earlier this year, they've been trying to find somebody to fill that void. Key Lawrence getting the opportunity here today.
Oklahoma came into this week 112th in the country in pass defense. They're going to run Taj Brooks here. He's got some room into Oklahoma territory and near the 40-yard line, and a late flag comes in. That was thrown after the tackle, so perhaps there was either a late hit or targeting on the Sooners. Meanwhile, Key Lawrence, who you talked about a moment ago, is down, still down.
This is going to be on Delarian Turner.
Result of the play is a first down after the play. Personal foul, unsportsmanlike conduct, number 32. Defense, 15-yard penalty from the dead ball spot. Automatic, first down. Correction, personal foul, unnecessary roughness.
We'll come back and sort everything out. That's a big penalty, though, on the Sooners. Going to be really interesting to see where Michigan State is when the first college football playoff rankings come out on Tuesday. What a job Mel Tucker has done in East Lansing.
No doubt. Huge win there today. Came from behind, find a way to get the victory. Interesting to see where they wind up on Tuesday.
Meanwhile, Turner Yell for Oklahoma, a late hit away from the ball. That was the 15-yard penalty, and Texas Tech having success running the ball on this Oklahoma defense. That's Taj Brooks for almost 7 yards. They're over 40 rushing yards already with 5 different ball carriers so far.
Yeah, way too much push up front right now. If you're the Oklahoma defensive line, really nice job by this Texas Tech offensive line, having their way, getting good push, really allowing themselves to get to the edge.
Now Xavier White is in the game at tailback on 2nd and 4, and he gets the call straight ahead, grabbed by Isaiah Thomas at the 19-yard line, but second effort is close to a first down. We'll see, though, do they rule forward progress was stopped? They spot it about a yard short of the line to gain.
Physical piece of running there by Xavier White, refusing to go down. And Isaiah Thomas has to check out of this game as his helmet came off.
That's big to not have him on the field here, although they did give Texas Tech a first down with that second effort run.
And defensively right now, guys, Oklahoma is so concerned about the quarterback keep because of last week that they're voiding areas inside tackle to tackle.
Play fake, Colombi, fade. Oh, what a catch! Ezukama, hang on. It's a touchdown for Texas Tech. I don't know how he pulled that ball away from Jaden Davis and Delarian Turner-Yell.
Wow, how about this pass? Strong hands, bringing it in, possessing it through. The contact with the ground, outstanding. Individual effort by Eric Ezukama. Does that ball move at all?
Man.
See Jaden Davis try to get his hand on. Looks like he secured possession all the way through the process of that catch, Dave.
What an incredible grab by Ezukama. Second receiving touchdown of the season. First team all Big 12 last year. The coaches told us they want to get him the ball more. That was a great throw by Colombi, too.
It really was. He gave him a chance by getting it up and high and letting Ezukama use his height and his wingspan.
That's exactly right. Look, size matters. Jaden Davis, 5'10". Delarian Turner-Yell, 5'11". Eric Ezukama, 6'3". That ball up there for him to pluck out of the air.
And to beat a team like Oklahoma, as the extra point is good, you need somebody to make something happen, make a play. Caleb Williams did for Oklahoma, Ezukama just did for Texas Tech.
And Henry Colombi puts plenty of air underneath that football. Looked like Turner-Yell jumped a little bit prematurely, just shy of that football. That's just strong hands all the way through, the contact with the ground, and you know who loved this. Head coach Sonny Cumbie, fired up.
He's such a great guy. We just had a blast talking to him last night for a good half hour to 40 minutes. He's always been one of the most friendly guys on the circuit, and for somebody that loves Lubbock the way he does, I know a lot of people locally are hoping for success for Sonny Cumbie. Don't know if that will ultimately mean, if Texas Tech wins, that he's a strong candidate for the next position. Certainly the timing of the firing of Matt Wells is curious. We've seen that now a few times this year in college football. It's not like you're in a bye week and you fire the coach. You do it on a Monday, and they also have a winning record. It's only his third year. Here's Marvin Mims on the return for the Sooners, trying to get the edge. He got slowed down just enough. Wants a flag as he got pushed out of bounds late, but no penalty marker is thrown. Statement Saturday continues tonight. We just saw Ohio State last week, and man, do the Buckeyes look good right now. After that loss to Oregon, they've won a handful in a row, and they play a Penn State team that's coming off a 9-overtime loss at home to Illinois. Just one of many terrific games on the schedule tonight.
Awesome slate. SMU undefeated. It's Houston. Dana Holgerson's got his group playing well. Can't wait for that one tonight. They're Jordan-Hare, Ole Miss, taking on Auburn. What a great slate of games here on this Saturday. You mentioned Ohio State, the best offense in college football right now.
Williams, play action, in trouble again, and shows off that arm talent. A strike to Mims, and a first down, a gain of 10 out to the 32-yard line.
Pocket collapses. There's no panic. So much poise and always calm, under control from Caleb Williams. He fires a strike for another first down.
And he keeps his eyes downfield under duress. That's the biggest thing with a young quarterback.
He's from Washington, D.C. Didn't play last year. His high school team did not play because of COVID. He becomes the 5th starting quarterback in the last 4 years for Oklahoma, replacing Spencer Rattler. Here's Brooks, gets sandwiched and then picked up and dropped by Colin Schooler, the leading tackler for Texas Tech.
This is a good Texas Tech run defense. 5 of the 8 games this year, they've held their opponent to under 100 yards rushing. It's only a 3-man front, but they do a lot of pre and post snap movement, and very active linebackers with Colin Schooler, Rico Jeffers, Krishan Merriweather. Keith Patterson's been very pleased for the most part this season with the way that front has played.
Only 6 rushing yards so far for Oklahoma. Now they have thrown it a lot, and they will here. Williams puts it on the money to Mims inside the 40-yard line. Mims trying to get away from the defender into the end zone for the Oklahoma touchdown. A A 67-yard catch and run for 6 for Marvin Mims.
Just an absolutely perfectly placed football outside for Marvin Mims. The timing on that throw as Mims was going out of his break, that ball's coming out of Caleb Williams' hands. And Marvin Mims, where the pass was thrown, he could catch, get up the sidelines, avoid the initial offender, and it was off to the races. Marvin Mims, now his 3rd touchdown since the Texas game, with Caleb Williams running the show.
The Oklahoma coaches wanted to get Marvin Mims the ball more here today after just 1 catch against Kansas and 2 against TCU 2 weeks ago.
Talk about timing, right? Being on the same page. Ball's out right as Marvin Mims makes his break. That's an indefensible play. It's not poorly covered. It was bad on the tackle. But man, Caleb Williams in perfect harmony with one of his top targets, Marvin Mims, making it look easy right there from quarterback to wide receiver for a 67-yard touchdown.
If he's late there, Dusty, it's going the other way. Because you're right, that was not poor coverage.
No, exactly, Tom. I mean, that's practice, right? That's getting together with your guys. That's a practice field. That's throwing before practice, working on those route combinations. And the more and more practice reps, game reps Caleb Williams gets, you would expect, Tom, we're going to continue to see more of that.
The accuracy is going to increase. The confidence is going to increase. You're going to see more explosives like that when you feel like you've got a feel for where your guy's going to be all the time.
The move to go to Caleb Williams was in part about Spencer Rattler, but it was also about Caleb Williams and how talented this coaching staff feels Williams is, and we have seen that on full display here since the Texas game. This one will sail into the end zone for a touchback. Texas Tech will start on the 25. Big 12 now on ESPN Plus is a must-have for Big 12 fans. The Big 12 Women's Soccer Championship starts Sunday with quarterfinal action beginning at 12:30 Eastern. And the college basketball season starts November 9th. You'll get more than 180 men's and women's games this season. If you're a Big 12 fan, you got to have it. Sign up today at ESPNplus.com/Big12Now. Oklahoma 5-0 in conference play. Baylor a game back at 4-1 after the Bears knocked off Texas. Oklahoma State and Iowa State both 3-1. Iowa State playing West Virginia. We'll update that score and we have a final there. Texas Tech with a first down from its 25, and Colombi taking a shot downfield, some hand fighting, and the ball thrown just behind the intended target, Ezukama, who wanted a penalty on Key Lawrence, who was injured earlier but is back on the field.
Okay, good sign for Oklahoma. Key Lawrence is back out there. I know Ezukama was wanting a flag. Ezukama's pushing on Lawrence as much as Lawrence on him. That ball just underthrown, and Ezukama tries to work back to it, but the pass clearly underthrown by Henry Colombi.
Well, look how much better that matchup is, Dusty, because now you got 6'2 versus 6'3 instead of 5'10 versus 6'3.
Exactly right. Part of the reason I think they made the move this week.
Colombi to throw here on second down. That one is on target, and it's a first down out to the 40-yard line. J.J. Sparkman had 1 catch all year. Pretty impressive job after the catch, dragging a defender, DJ Graham, with him for 15 yards.
Tight window throw on the slant, and that was a bullet from Henry Colombi. And how about the extra effort fighting for those yards? Big pickup on second down.
We'll have to run one more play here in the first quarter. Put Colombi under center. Thompson is the tailback. And it's a jet sweep, getting the ball in the hands of Ezukama, but Oklahoma was ready for that. That's a negative play. Pat Fields, 2-time captain, who was just named a Campbell Trophy finalist for his 3.8 GPA, made the initial hit.
Well, this is an outstanding job. Going to bring the safety down, and the edge was set by Key Lawrence, and then Pat Fields helps clean it off. Really well defense there on the end around.
Oklahoma 14, Texas Tech 7 after 1. College football on ABC presented by Arby's. We'll continue after this message and a word from our ABC stations. Welcome back to College Football on ABC, presented by Arby's, as we continue Dr. Pepper's Championship Drive Game of the Week. Dave Pasch, Dusty Dvorak, Tom Luganville in Norman. 14-7, the fourth-ranked Sooners in front. Donovan Smith on the field here at quarterback for Texas Tech, which has been able to move the ball against the Sooners so far. A negative play, though, on first down on a jet sweep to Ezekama. And on 2nd and 11, here's Thompson off the right side, and they track him down and take him to the ground after a gain of 2. Perrion Winfrey, along with true freshman Danny Stutzman.
And this defensive line needs Perrion Winfrey to be a penetrator, a disruptor. At times this year, you go back to the Texas game, that's what he was. There was a lot of hype and expectation. He hasn't consistently done it. If he can get to that point, he changes the outlook of this Oklahoma defense.
#1 junior college recruit a year ago, and was named second team All Big 12 afterwards. Henry Colombi back on the field, and a great adjustment by Sparkman, but he couldn't come down with it. Key Lawrence in coverage for the Sooners, 4th down.
Well, you mentioned it. Excellent job by Sparkman adjusting to that football. But Key Lawrence in good position. Gets that hand up and hand on the football to knock it loose at the last second. Key Lawrence really stepping up and making an impact at that cornerback position.
Height on height.
He's got some versatility too, Tom. He played great as a safety last week.
McNamara with a moonshot. That thing way up there, and the fair catch made inside the 10 by Marvin Mims. Now a quick word from Cheez-It.
The Hall of Cheese is here to honor fans as dedicated to college football as Cheez-It is to cheese. If that's you, use the hashtag MVCheese contest to show us why you're worthy.
So a 58-yard punt. Oklahoma will start this drive from its 9, but earlier it started a drive on its 5 and went the length of the field for its longest drive of the season. Caleb Williams has been outstanding so far. And look at those passes of 20 yards or more. 4 of 5 for a $139 and 2 scores.
That's one of the big things that changed once he's come in. Oklahoma was not very explosive early on the season, and the explosive plays have been through the roof since he's been inserted as the quarterback.
They go empty here from the 9-yard line on 1st and 10. Pressure off the edge. Williams in trouble, avoids the safety, and then throws complete for a 1st down. Out past the 20 is Willis, all the way to the 25-yard line. Boy, Rico Jeffers had Caleb Williams dead to rights, or so he thought.
Yeah, coming right off the edge, and look, Keith Patterson loves to dial it up, and when you get that opportunity, you got to make it count. Missed opportunity by Rico Jeffers, and Caleb Williams makes them pay.
So a gain of 16, some breathing room now on the 25-yard line. Play action. Williams slings it in traffic, complete out to the 40 to Stoops. His 2nd catch of the game.
Hops like his dad right there. Drake Stoops climbs the ladder, those strong hands, and makes that tough, competitive catch.
His dad, Bob, longtime coach here, was your coach. Stepped in to the booth to say hello before the game. Got into the TV biz.
That's right, got into the biz. Drake Stoops, he really is a key piece to this offense. It doesn't get talked about nearly enough. His toughness, his blocking, and what he brings.
All reliable.
That's exactly right, Tom. Exactly right.
You know where he's going to be, and you know he's going to catch it.
So 1st down on the OU 39, leading 14-7. A rare run play here in the 1st half, and Brooks does not get much, maybe 2. Colin Schooler is there defensively. They haven't tried to run very often, and when they have, Texas Tech's been pretty good at the point of attack.
And Caleb Williams been great throwing the football. Oklahoma really struggling right now, a line of scrimmage, to be able to get much push and get this rushing attack going. I know Lincoln Riley, he's happy with where this pass game is right now, but he wants to be a balanced attack. Like to have more success running the football.
8 yards on the ground on 6 attempts. Here's 2nd and 8. Play fake for Williams, and the pass behind the receiver almost intercepted off the redirection. Mario Williams couldn't hang on. 3rd down and 8 for Oklahoma, which is 8-0 in the year, winning 16 straight. Longest active streak in the country.
Yeah, rare misfire there from Caleb Williams, and he had Mario Williams wide open, middle of the field on the slant. That pass behind him, and Oklahoma fortunate on the tip drill. That ball wasn't picked off.
And a timeout called defensively by Texas Tech, facing 3rd down and 8, trailing Oklahoma by 7. Sunday at 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific on ESPN, a special Halloween edition of NFL Countdown, looking at some of the NFL's most unusual superstitions, plus a one-on-one with former Texas Tech quarterback Patrick Mahomes. The Chiefs looking to get back on track on Monday night. Did you have, when you were playing at Oklahoma or in the NFL, any unusual superstitions?
I did. I don't think I can share with you on air, though.
Okay. I guess we'll have to wait to the post game. Can you tweet it out or something later, or is it not even Twitter worthy?
If you're nice.
Third down and 8, and wide open. Mario Williams, a flag down. There might be a pick, might be offensive pass interference, because I have no idea how Mario Williams got that wide open in the middle of the field.
I think it's going to be on Braden Willis.
That would negate a 13-yard gain and a first down.
There is no foul for offensive pass interference. The ball was caught behind the line of scrimmage. Result of the play, first down.
And that's the difference. We've already seen Oklahoma do this once earlier in this game with Jaden Hazelwood. Freeze it right there, guys. Okay, so here's the pass. It's behind the line of scrimmage, and here's going to be where the contact is, right here.
Yep.
As you see Mario Williams work his way back, it's behind the line of scrimmage. No foul. Good job by the officiating crew talking through that and getting the call right.
And well coached.
Absolutely.
Worked on a lot in practice to make sure that you do that correctly. So first down in Texas Tech territory. Play action again for Williams. And throwing deep. Got a receiver. The pass is on target again to Mario Williams. Down inside the 10-yard line.
Well, it's been the Mario Williams show here so far. Good protection by the offensive line. And Caleb Williams finds his target. Open on the sidelines, gets behind the coverage with that speed. Nice job completing the process of that catch. Williams to Williams.
They've scored on each of their last 39 red zone trips. Looks like they're going to take a further look at this one. They spot the ball at the 11. It's a 35-yard gain for now. Back in a moment.
Great guest list for the Mannings tonight.
You've reached Peyton and Eli. Leave a message.
This is Liam Neeson. I have a very particular set of skills, none of which involves watching game film. Watch Peyton and Eli. You never know who will drop by.
The great Frank Caliendo promoting Monday night at 8 Eastern Time, ESPN2, Peyton and Eli. And then over on ESPN, Steve Levy, Brian Griese, Louis Riddick will have the call. Former Red Raider quarterback Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, who are 3-4, taking on the New York Giants. Monday Night Countdown kicks us off at 6 Eastern Time.
Hey, let's take a look at this last play. Mario Williams is called a slant and go. Double move, gets the defensive back completely turned around. Excellent piece of route running, and Caleb Williams finds Mario Williams. 4 for 73 and a touchdown already in this first half for Mario Williams.
They confirmed that it was a catch via replay. It didn't take very long, and now Williams keeps it here on first down, bottled up after a short gain. Schooler is there defensively. It'll be 2nd and goal. They did move the ball forward. They originally had it marked outside the 10, but they did move it to the 10, making it a goal-to-go situation.
Nice piece of defense there. Krishan Merriweather played that perfect, and then Colin Schooler comes up with a big hit on Caleb Williams.
That was a long, drawn-out fake, too. That was tough to stick with defensively. Nice discipline.
8th play of the drive. This one started at the 9. They already have a touchdown drive where they began at the 5. Williams in trouble, gets out of there again, throwing on the run, and it's caught for a touchdown by Braden Willis. But my, oh my, Caleb Williams continues to entertain.
I mean, this guy is so dangerous. It's a great rush inside Jalen Hutchings, and then a quick sidestep from Caleb Williams. Eyes down the field, and if you're in the secondary, you want to come up and help, but you better stay plastered to your man if you're in this Texas Tech secondary today. And Caleb Williams is moving around because his eyes are down the field, and if you leave your man and he's open, he's going to locate him and find him. 3rd touchdown already for Caleb Williams.
I mean, some of the stuff we're seeing looks eerily similar to another quarterback who played at Oklahoma who's now in the NFL.
Well, if you talk to a lot of people around the Oklahoma program, there's a lot of Baker Mayfield and a lot of Kyler Murray that you see within Caleb Williams.
He threw that ball through a keyhole.
Burkett on for the point after to make it 21-7 Oklahoma. Braden Willis with his first touchdown catch of the year, and Caleb Williams already with 3 passing touchdowns.
The true freshman's on fire in the first half. Well-placed ball to Mario Williams. And then, man, as good as he is from the pocket, even better on the move. It's all Sooners early.
Three different receivers have caught touchdown passes from Caleb Williams, who's engineered a pair of 90-plus yard drives.
All right, watch right here initially. Jalen Hutchings going to get right past Andrew Rain. Pressure right in the face of Caleb Williams. Freeze it there, guys. No panic whatsoever. Eyes now of these defenders all right there on Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams eyes down the field. Braden Willis finds that soft spot in the corner of the end zone. Quarterback locates the open target. He makes it so difficult. Can sidestep pressure, keeps his eyes down the field. And as a defender, you want to come up and help because you think you can run. You lose sight of your receiver, and it's pitch and catch from quarterback to tight end right there.
It'll be a touchback and come out to the 25. Let's check in with Kevin. But wow, guys, that catch was as good as it gets as Texas Tech comes back and runs Taj Brooks. He should have lost yardage, but bounced off defenders and ends up gaining 2.
That's the true freshman Ethan Downs with some serious penetration off the backside. Disrupts the pull scheme, completely blows up that play. And Brooks fortunate to get positive yardage. That had negative play written all over it.
So you've got a big play for Oklahoma, and you've got a couple of sustained drives. Texas Tech is going to need some explosive plays to hang with the Sooners today. Columbia off play action. A flag down, so is Columbia. After minimal gain, flag thrown in the area of offensive holding.
They might get TJ Stormont. He got a little bit too much jersey there on the true freshman Ethan Downs coming off the edge.
Holding, number 51, offense, 10-yard penalty, previous spot, still second down.
It is on Stormont this season, along with their contributions to university's general scholarship funds. For every field goal and extra point made, Allstate will also be donating to the American Red Cross to help with disaster relief efforts. Thank you, Allstate. Spectacular day here in Norman. 72 degrees at kickoff. Dave Pasch, Dusty Dvorak, Tom Luginbill. The first college football playoff rankings come out Tuesday. Michigan State with a huge win today. One of the best wins for any team yet in college football. So depending on what happens in front of the Spartans, who in the polls this week are number 8, we'll see where they end up in the first rankings. The three of us will give our rankings in the second half. I think you might be surprised where I put Michigan State. Little T. Second and 18. Columbia from the pocket. And the pass on the money out to the 31-yard line to Ezukama. So they get a chunk of it back and put him in third and manageable. Third and about 4.
Nice job by this Texas Tech offensive line. Good protection. Just a 3-man rush. Henry Columbia steps into that throw. And Eric Ezukama, nice job completing the process through that hit.
They got to keep targeting him, man.
No doubt.
So far, he's carried the ball 2 times. They have thrown to Ezukama 4 times with 3 catches, including a touchdown. Trying to keep the drive going and keep the hot hand on the bench. And the pass batted in the air, and it's intercepted. It's picked off by Pat Fields for the Sooners. And Fields takes it back inside the 25-yard line.
Well, it's the second time today on a third down. Isaiah Thomas recognizes he's not going to get to the quarterback. And watch him right here. Going to shut it down, get his hand up right in the throwing lane. Hand up, ball's in the air. Then it's just a tip drill, and it's Patrick Fields in perfect position to get a takeaway for the Sooners. Isaiah Thomas, his veteran leadership, his productivity, third time today on third down, he's come up with a big play, and the Sooners now in prime real estate looking to blow this thing open.
We didn't know what to expect from Oklahoma today, especially after how lackluster they looked in that first half against Kansas. It feels like they are dialed in and engaged, though, here today, unlike what we've seen the last few games.
Coaching staff said both sides of the ball. It was the most competitive week of practice they've had all year.
From the 17-yard line, here's Kennedy Brooks breaking a tackle and then push back at the 12-yard line. Gain of a handful on first down. So only 3 interceptions for Oklahoma coming into today, but they get one there thanks to the great play by Isaiah Thomas, his second pass defended, and Pat Fields' first interception of the season.
Big area that Alex Grinch was harping on, wanted to try to create more interceptions. He's done an excellent job ripping at the ball. 9 fumble recoveries on the season, and a bulk of those forced. Defensive coordinator is going to be happy about that takeaway.
Lincoln Riley called a timeout with a play clock winding down. So that will leave the Sooners with 2 midway through the second quarter and a 14-point lead. And Florida was hanging with Georgia. The Bulldogs just scored. Kevin and Boog will have the highlights of that coming up. Meanwhile, second down and 5 for Caleb Williams. And a diving catch for a touchdown by Drake Stoops. 4 touchdown passes to 4 different receivers for Caleb Williams.
Well, I asked this week Lincoln Riley about his redshirt junior wide receiver, Drake Stoops, and he said trust. He's earned the trust of his team. He's earned the trust of his staff. And the sure-handed wide receiver, outstanding job adjusting to that pass thrown behind him and the strong hands to bring it in.
Dusty, remarkable catch, but that ball could not have been placed anywhere else to give that thing a chance of where he threw it.
And Caleb Williams continues to impress. 8 touchdown passes coming into today. He's got 4 more, and we're midway through the second quarter. They're looking at this just to make sure every play is reviewed in college football. We'll see if they feel the need to further review. But I think it was pretty clear, and so they say, yep, no need to look at this any longer. It's a touchdown. Stoops' first of the year. Burkich puts it through, and you wonder with Texas Tech getting its head coach fired earlier this week what kind of resolve this team will have, now down 21.
Well, here's the interception that set up the touchdown. Isaiah Thomas on third down shuts down the rush, not going to get there. Quick game gets his hands up. Pat Fields in position, and as Tom mentioned, a very well placed football from Caleb Williams, and Drake Stoops with an acrobatic type of catch, bringing it in for the first touchdown pass of the day for Caleb Williams. Crazy, Dave, I was telling you earlier, I'm old enough whenever that guy and his brother Isaac were about 1 year old, and I watched them grow up in that very same end zone. I vividly remember them fighting with each other on football pads, and now watching them catch touchdowns in that end zone, it really brings things full circle.
Did you say that Drake used to wear your jersey?
Helmet like that. I give him my helmet to play with. Okay. Drake and Isaac, they'd always be scrapping around. 2 tough kids.
I was going to say, if it was your jersey, you probably would. You could probably fit it on both of those guys.
Probably so.
2 of them fit in the one jersey.
What are you saying, Dave?
Saying that I was a big fat guy. I think is what he's
I'm just saying that they were young is what I was saying.
They were small. I think both can be true.
Well, we may have some highlights of you at Oklahoma. We'll let America determine. Be a touchback, come out to the 25. All right, so let's take a look back at the All-America career of Dusty Dvorak.
Oh boy,
with the hair at Oklahoma. We've seen people posting, pass rushers posting on Twitter, graveyard with the names of quarterbacks that they've eaten alive. We have been at Dusty's house here in Norman. There are actual gravestones. They're not fake. Actual gravestones in Dusty's front yard. I think they're actually
Why are you giving away my secrets?
There.
Why are you giving away my secrets? Man, there's going to be people coming to my house looking for dead bodies.
But if you see the clean-cut All-America look at Dusty Dvorak, just remember one time he was All-American linebacker with hair down to his belt. As the ball came out, they're going to rule the runner Thompson down, though. Fields had the ball. He just had an interception on the last series.
Nose tackle, not linebacker. I wish I was.
I didn't mean
maybe now.
Yes.
Maybe now I'm a linebacker. As we take a look at this play, knees down. Ball is still in possession of Sir Roderick Thompson.
Yes, that was a complete misspeak on the linebacker.
Take it as a compliment.
All right, fair enough. 2nd and 10 for Texas Tech. Colombi gets out of there, being chased though. And now just scoots out of play. Ran into his bench and a flag is thrown and Colombi's down. He got hit late on the sideline. There's not much room over there for the opposing players between where they're standing and where the stands begin. That was Reggie Grimes here. Didn't get a lot of him though. I just think the collision was.
I mean, he's got 1 foot almost in and 1 foot out as he's going out of bounds. Reggie Grimes just a slight push, and you hope Henry Colombi's okay. It's a ticky-tack personal foul on the far sidelines.
Donovan Smith is going in at quarterback as they look at Colombi. See if this provides a spark for Texas Tech. Try not to get blown out here in the first half. Down 3 scores. Plenty of time. And Smith very capable. The coaches are high on him. We've seen him for a couple snaps so far in this game.
And Sonny Cumbie told us yesterday he's got a great arm, right? He said he's very confident in his ability to throw the football down the field. We know he's an outstanding athlete. And mix in a little bit of pass here for Donovan Smith.
All kinds of movement and a flag down pre-snap.
TJ Storment, Weston Wright, both left side of that offensive line moving a little prematurely.
Got to limit a lot of this pre-snap movement because it's getting these guys antsy. I think they just need to snap the ball, Dusty, and go.
False start, number 51, offense, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Second penalty on Storment, the transfer from TCU. Sonny Cumbie, the interim coach for the fired Matt Wells, who was let go Monday. Spent the last 7 years at TCU, but he coached at Texas Tech, played at Texas Tech, 2004 graduate. Tough audition, playing only ranked teams the rest of the way are the Red Raiders. Iowa State, Oklahoma State, and Baylor after this game. They run it on 1st and 15 and only 2 yards for Xavier White. Jalen Redmond with the knockdown.
Yeah, no easy task with Oklahoma, Iowa State, Oklahoma State, and at Baylor to close out this season. And you know, Sonny Cumbie, as you talked about earlier, he loves Texas Tech. He's a West Texas guy. That's who he is. He's going to pour his heart and soul into this season. Just kind of wonder, are they going to have enough left in the tank?
Donovan Smith steps away from pressure. And the 6'5", 230-pound quarterback gets a good gain there before Deshaun White gets him just short of the line to gain. Pickup of 10. It'll be 3rd and 3.
Nice piece of running. Nothing down the field for him to deliver the football. And see him as a runner on display there. Nice chunk back to set up 3rd and very manageable. And this, Tom, I think is where it opens up, that split zone read with the quarterback keep.
There's no question about it. Something Oklahoma's really struggled with this year.
Third down and 3, and Smith will keep it. And no shot to get the first down. Bodies fly to the football, led by Deshaun White and Key Lawrence. We'll see if Texas Tech goes for it on 4th down and 2.
Tight look as we're going to see right here, Deshaun White coming downhill, and it's exactly what we thought. It's that split zone read look with an extra blocker out in front, but Oklahoma up to the task. Deshaun White downhill, making it tough on Donovan Smith. And, you know, you think in this situation, you know, what do you have to lose, right? Coach has already been fired. And if you're Sonny Cumbie, you know you're going to have to score some points to get back in this ball game, right?
You got to take a timeout and talk about it, but this is one of the things that he told us, look, this is going to be new for me, trying to, you know, be in charge of determining when to go for it, when not to, time and score. But clearly they can't stop Oklahoma right now, so the only way to stop them is to keep the ball and to get a first down. Taco Bell welcomes you to the Live Más Student Section of the Year contest. Use hashtag Student Section Sauce to get the committee's attention, and go to ESPN.com/Taco Bell to see how your school can compete.
Get you some Taco Bell, Dave.
I used to destroy some Taco Bell. That guy you saw on TV earlier?
Used to?
Well, you know, I gotta fit into these nice suits when I'm standing up next to Dave Pasch. I can't mow down the Taco Bell like I once could. But what were those things? You go up 5 and 5? 5 tacos, 5 burritos?
Oh, yeah.
Like
how about the family pack?
That's what it was.
Oh, boy.
Family pack for 1 is what I called it.
They renamed it here in Norman from Family Pack to Dusty Pack when he just would devour all of them in one sitting. 4th and 2 for Texas Tech. At its 48-yard line with Donovan Smith, the backup quarterback, in the game. And now Oklahoma called a timeout.
Before the snap, timeout, Oklahoma, second of the half.
Lincoln Riley either wanted to see how they were aligned defensively or didn't like what he saw. In fact, Alex Grinch, one of the assistant coaches anyway, was talking to Key Lawrence, who may have been out of alignment. So we started the telecast by talking about Oklahoma, a bumpy road to get to 8-0, but they look like a top 5 team the way they're playing so far in this game.
Yeah, they do, you know, and that's what I think Lincoln Riley's been waiting for. Consistency, right? And to play a complementary style of football. Really, if you think about this season for Oklahoma, you can point to the second half against Texas, the only time you've seen the Oklahoma offense and defense clicking on all cylinders. And look, it was kind of a soul-searching type of week, I think, on both sides of the football. Where do we want to go? Who do we want to be? Coaches said it was the most competitive week of practice, and this team so far has responded here against Texas Tech.
No, Dave, to your point, Alex Grinch, the defensive coordinator, Key Lawrence, number 12, who's played a vital role today, was misaligned. And they wanted to make sure they got him lined up correctly. This is a critical down. I think they know defensively, they get this ball back right here. Texas Tech's in bigger trouble.
Yep.
No question.
A chance to go 35-7 at halftime, put it away. First things first, trying to get a stop here. Smith from the pocket, and it's a completion. They get the first down, and they go to their best player, Eric Ezukanma. Credit Donovan Smith hanging in there, delivering a strike on 4th and 2 and getting 15 yards.
Yeah, it's man-to-man coverage, and this is Ezukanma just running away from DJ Graham on the shallow cross, and Donovan Smith poised, stood right there in the pocket, saw Ezukanma come open, and a big conversion on 4th down. Keep feeding 13 the football.
Henry Colombi banged up. Donovan Smith in at quarterback. He'll throw it again here. Rolling out on 1st down. Throwing on the run, and nice catch. Miles Price looked like he may have tipped it to himself.
Wow.
And a gain of 14.
Well, this game has put together some spectacular catches. What a heads-up play by Miles Price. That ball put out in front. He can get the left hand on it, a little tip drill, and possession before he scoots out of bounds. Great concentration on the sidelines by Price.
And great poise right here from quarterback Donovan Smith.
Inside the 25 of Oklahoma. 1 timeout remaining. 2.5 to go here till halftime. And Xavier White, big hole between the tackles. Picks up 9 yards. They have been able to run the ball, so if they can score here, get it to 14 points and just get some kind of a stop defensively, maybe they can keep Caleb Williams and the Oklahoma offense on the sideline.
And, you know, what you just mentioned there is something that Kansas did and a lot of teams have done. Slow it down, possess the football. Last week, Oklahoma had 8 possessions. Texas Tech, a little bit more up-tempo here today, but you're right. A score here gets them right back in this ballgame.
Where it looked like maybe they were going to get blown out of the gym. They run White, first down, cut back inside the 10, down to the 6-yard line. Another good run. First and goal.
Back-to-back plays, nice job up front, the left side of that offensive line. Josh Berger getting some push, Weston Wright, Dawson Deaton. Good response here from Donovan Smith since he's been inserted into this drive.
Maybe they'll keep running it here, not give Oklahoma any time with the football back. The Sooners will start the second half with the ball.
QB run game.
Oh, man. But a flag. Another pre-snap penalty on Texas Tech. Caleb Rogers, the right tackle, looked like he moved.
False start, number 76. Offense, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
That'll put him outside the 10. Texas Tech had a lead last week, lost to Kansas State. You wonder if they win that game and you're 6-2 and 3-2 in conference play. Is Matt Wells still the head coach?
Yes, he would be. And it's crazy to me that there's a 3rd and 34 in that game that's a questionable legal hands to the face, and ultimately that costs a good man his job.
So first down and goal from the 12. And Smith with a high percentage throw, but Price in trouble. He's going to lose yardage. 3-yard setback. And the Sooners were all over that. Deshaun White leading the way.
And this is what Alex Grinch wants to see. Pursuit to the football. Intentional strain to the ball. It's an outstanding job of just giving effort, running to the football, and making a play.
You know what, Dusty, too? He talked about effort not being an issue. They're an effort-based defense, but it was making the play after the effort when the play is there to be made that's been lacking.
Competitive effort, I think, is what he talked about, Tom.
The timeout taken. We'll see who called the timeout. It is Texas Tech. So that's the last timeout for the Red Raiders. 35 seconds to go. They have a 2nd and goal on the 15. Our big lineup continues tonight. Saturday Night Football on ABC. It's Penn State and Ohio State from Columbus. Monday night, Chiefs, Giants on ESPN. And Pete and Eli will be over on ESPN2 breaking it all down. It's all available as well on the ESPN app. Oklahoma leading Texas Tech 28-7. The Sooners ranked 4th. They slipped a spot in the polls this past week. They were number 2 preseason, so despite being undefeated, they've dropped 2 spots in the polls. They had a quarterback change going from Spencer Rattler to Caleb Williams in the Texas game. They were down 28-7 in that game in the first quarter, came back to win. Had a couple other close calls, but they've been dominant so far in this game. 2nd and goal for Donovan Smith, the Texas Tech quarterback. Instead, it's a jet sweep to Geiger, in trouble. Another tackle for a loss. This time it's Turner Yell, and they're out of timeouts, Texas Tech, so they got to hurry here on 3rd and goal from the 20. 18 seconds and counting. And a timeout by Oklahoma. Make sure that they're lined up properly with 15 seconds left.
Well, that was outstanding pursuit to the football. Deshaun White set the edge. And then, man, you want to talk about De'Laren Turner-Yell coming downhill, making a big-time stop, setting that edge, forcing the cutback, and there's that pursuit to the football that you want to see. Good to see De'Laren Turner-Yell back. He's had a hamstring issue, back healthy, and he's a difference maker on the back end of that Sooners defense.
Hey, guys, watching DJ Graham and Asamoah, number 924, jawing at each other on this Oklahoma defense, having to separate them there on the sideline. And Dusty, I don't know if that was a very smart timeout by Oklahoma.
Yeah,
You've got Texas Tech on the ropes. The clock's winding down. You just helped them out.
Totally agree, Tom. I thought the same thing in that moment. Like, it was almost like a fire drill for Texas Tech. Inexperienced quarterback. Now you give him a chance to talk to his offensive coordinator, kind of exhale, and get out a quality play.
This is either going to be a pass toward the sideline or to the end zone on 3rd down and goal from the 20 with no timeouts left. And instead, Smith throws across the middle. Inside the 10 is Ezukama. It's 4th and goal. Can they get the field goal unit out there fast enough? 6, 5, 4. Trying to get set up here with 2, with 1. The kicker's not even out there. They snap it. There's a flag. And the half comes to an end.
This is the end. 2nd quarter. Players hold.
I think that shows a little bit of the inexperience of Sonny Cumbie in this spot, right? When you had that timeout that Oklahoma gave you, you should have brought your quarterback over and let him know, like you said, out of bounds or to the end zone, nothing in between the hashes, and Texas Tech not ready for that spot.
Well, Garibay, the kicker, wasn't even on the field yet.
Kind of what we talked about, though, isn't it, guys? Where you've got to juggle a lot of different hats now. You got to manage the game.
28-7 Oklahoma at halftime. We'll get you to the studio for the Capital One halftime report after this message and a word from our ABC stations.
Welcome back to the Dr. Pepper Championship Drive Game of the Week.
Welcome back to college football on ABC, presented by Arby's. This is the Big 12 Conference on ESPN. Oklahoma trying to run its winning streak to 17 in a row, the longest active win streak in the country, and go to 9-0 this season. Williams.
Well, the true freshman was fantastic, especially on the move to his right, evading rushers all throughout that first half, keeping plays alive, buying time for his receivers to come open, and perfect timing on that throw to Marvin Mims. There's a lot of hype coming into this game about Caleb Williams, and man, he has surpassed all of that and some with his 4 touchdown tosses in the first half.
To 4 different receivers, and all to the right side. Check that out. Over 200 yards passing when throwing right.
You know, you referenced it. You get a chance to see Kyler all the time. You see some Kyler Murray, and I think the leadership intangibles, the infectious personality, that's where he gets the similarities drawn from one Baker Mayfield.
We'll see Caleb Williams here again shortly. Fair catch, so it will come out to the 25. Well, I think this is worth mentioning again. When they made the decision to take Spencer Rattler and put him on the bench and put Caleb Williams in, yes, it was in part to Spencer Rattler, but a lot of it was because of what they saw in Caleb Williams, and that's playing out now for all of us to see.
No question. I mean, they knew that they had a talented young football player, but you cannot overlook how productive he was when he was put into different situations. And they were a team looking for a spark, and they've gotten much more than just a spark since they've made the switch to the true freshman quarterback.
He is fun to watch, man. He's had some incredible plays, eluding pressure, getting out of traffic. Here we see it again. Breaks 1 tackle and gets back to the line of scrimmage. Let's check in with Tom Luginbill.
You guys had an opportunity to check in with Coach Cumbie and Coach Riley. First with Coach Cumbie, he's distraught. Obviously, he knows that they mismanaged the clock, they mismanaged the down and distance, could have kicked a 37-yard field goal, and Garibay, their kicker, just did not take to the field. Now, I asked Lincoln Riley, why did you call that timeout, which was able to give the offense for Texas Tech an opportunity to regroup? And he said, we had some jawing in the back end. I wanted to settle our team down, make sure that we were right.
And they were. They ended up getting out of the half without surrendering any points, and they have a 3-touchdown lead. Long throw to Mims here, and Mims runs through a defender to get the first down out to the 40-yard line. That was DeMarcus Fields making the tackle.
Well, there's a lot of cushion. Watch as the defensive back, Rashad Williams, really sinks and sets back. No flat defender over there. Easy pitch and catch from Caleb Williams to Marvin Mims. I'd like to see this Tech secondary a little bit more on these Oklahoma receivers. That's too easy.
And you wonder also, with the head coach Matt Wells being fired on Monday, will we see fight from the Texas Tech players? The whole coaches that are still here as Brooks picks up maybe a yard before he stopped. They felt in our conversation with him yesterday that it was a great week of practice, that the firing of Wells was a reflection of them, the players, that they have something to prove based on the fact that their coach is gone. We haven't seen that quite yet. Not that they're not playing hard, but we haven't seen it turn into production. Here's Hazelwood. He stopped at the 45, bringing up a big third down here for Texas Tech defensively.
Nice open field tackle there by Dadrian Taylor-Demerson. And you know, both Sonny Cumbie and Keith Patterson, as we spoke to him yesterday, said this is a resilient team, and it is a team that has a lot of fight. We'll see how they come out of the half down 21 if they can get back in this game.
By the way, nobody jumped into the transfer portal this week. Very important.
Here's Williams on third down at 5. Finds an open receiver, Eric Gray, for the first down in Texas Tech territory. Williams going through his progression that time and gets the first down, of gain of 13.
Okay, so we're going to see here again the same play that we've seen several times throughout today. Jaden Hazelwood is going to be a little pick play, that screen. It's well covered. So then Caleb Williams comes off his primary, Jaden Hazelwood, and he finds a wide open Eric Gray in the middle of the field. Well done going through the progressions of Caleb Williams.
We're in Texas Tech territory again. And they're going to run it here. Eric Gray tackled up high at the 38-yard line by Eric Monroe. Gain of 5.
And if there is an area that I'm sure Lincoln Riley, offensive line coach Bill Bedenbaugh, as you see Monroe right there across the upper portion of the chest, stayed off the face mask. What they'd like to see better in this second half, running the football. I would have to imagine that's a big point of emphasis, Tom.
Yeah, definitely. And I asked Lincoln about it, and he said, you know what, it's just kind of how the half played out. There were a couple of times where they had a numbers advantage. It gave us the one-on-one, and as you could see, they hit a lot of explosives in the first half.
Averaging 10 yards per play. Oklahoma right now. Williams on second down into double coverage, and the catch is made for a first down to the 31-yard line.
It's a really good job of Jeremiah Hall working back to the football. 2 Texas Tech defenders kind of there in harm's way, and Jeremiah Hall, been such a key piece of this offense for several years now, works back to that ball, makes a nice competitive catch for the first down.
He's got 4 receiving touchdowns this season. First team all Big 12 a year ago. Moves the chains there for the Sooners. 4 minutes gone by here in the third. Oklahoma looking to add to a 21-point lead. We get Brooks and Gray in the backfield again. Williams is over 300 passing yards. Gray, and they track him down backside and make the play at the line of scrimmage. That was Nelson and Banasor.
He's unblocked there, works off the backside. Does a really good job backside pursuit, making that tackle. Been good up front against the run here in this first half for Keith Patterson, or here in this ball game.
This is the best Texas Tech's been on defense in what, 15, 20 years, guys? I mean, this is an improved unit defensively from what we've seen in the past from the Red Raiders.
Definitely in the front 6 or 7, Tom, no question.
Williams on second down, hitches, waits, takes off, now throws, and throws it out of bounds.
Well, that's really good coverage down the field. I mean, Texas Tech stayed plastered to their men. Caleb Williams tried to buy as much time as he possibly could. He's even orchestrating traffic, pointing, having guys try to work open. Nobody comes open, and Wisely just throws it out of bounds. Improved job on the back end there for the Red Raiders secondary.
Smart too by Caleb Williams not to just run out of bounds, because you'd take a 3-yard loss by doing that. So just kind of hugged that sideline and then threw it at the last second to at least avoid a sack. Third down and 10, and a penalty marker is down.
Andrew Rain backed up a little bit prematurely.
False start, number 56. Offense, 5-yard penalty, still third down.
Chris Murray.
You might too if 95 was lined up in front of you.
What did I love what Keith Patterson told us about him? A ball of butcher knives, right?
Yeah.
For Jalen Hutchings. Really good job on the interior of that Texas Tech front.
And he was a running back in high school. He's 305 pounds.
Athletic.
They're down at 15 from the 36 of Texas Tech. Williams gets hit as he throws, and it's nearly intercepted by Jeffers. Willis, the intended target. It's 4th down.
And that inside pressure was the ball of butcher knives. Watch him. He's just going to work, continue to work his hands right there on Andrew Rame. Splits that double as Hayes tries to come over, and that ball close to being picked off there by Rico Jeffers.
So now Gabe Burkich will come on for a 53-yard field goal try. He's made 4 field goals from 50 yards or deeper, including a 56-yarder. Boy, that's impressive. Right down the middle. Would have been good from another 8 to 10 yards, and it's 31-7 Oklahoma. The Sooners trying to stay undefeated and run their FBS best win streak to 17 in a row. They're up big on Tech.
A dark night at the shoe. You could just feel the intensity of this rivalry.
Penn State, Ohio State, tonight at 7:30 on ABC.
Ohio State playing as well as anybody in college football. That's coming up tonight on ABC when we are done here. Oklahoma up big on Texas Tech, 31-7, looking to go to 9-0. 53-yard made field goal by Gabe Burkich. The Sooners are at Baylor in 2 weeks. They'll battle for first place in the conference. Baylor going to 4-1 with a win over Texas today. Here's Geiger taken out of the end zone. And he gets to about the 20-yard line. Take a look at this week's college football rankings brought to you by PlayStation. Oklahoma dropping from 3rd to 4th. Alabama in 3rd, not playing today. Cincinnati was not an easy game today, but they end up winning by 19 at Tulane.
Yeah, I don't know if that score was indicative of the way that game played out. Cincinnati in back-to-back weeks, not quite as impressive as we've seen. How about Georgia, though? All over Florida early. Man, it is a very good football team, Dave.
And how about Iowa losing
no
big?
question. Yeah.
So the last couple games, the home loss to Purdue by double figures, and now a double-digit defeat in Madison. Price with the catch out across the 22-yard line with Donovan Smith staying in the game, a quarterback for Texas Tech.
You know, he played really well at the end of that first half. Columbi takes a little bump as he goes out of bounds. We haven't seen him since, and Donovan Smith stepped right in, made some nice throws, and this is a great opportunity for him to start to grow and mature as a quarterback of this team.
Yet to throw an incompletion so far in this game. Here he is on 2nd and 5, handing it off to White, and he is dumped after a 1-yard gain. Here's Nick Benito. First time we've called his name, the preseason Big 12 Defensive Player of the Year. Texas Tech now forced into a 3rd down and about 5, and they're just 1 for 7 today.
And Oklahoma's been great on 3rd down, and Texas Tech for most of the season has been also. That's plagued this Oklahoma team this year. 80th in the country 3rd down defense. A year ago they were top 10. That's got to be something that's going to make Alex Grinch happy, getting off the field on 3rd down.
Smith and an open receiver. 1st down catch by Ezukama. A couple times we've seen Smith hang in there. One on a 4th down. Here on a 3rd down, make a strong throw across the middle.
No question. Man-to-man coverage once again, and Ezukama gets inside leverage and a nice throw.
Keep it on the ground here as Taj Brooks spins away from a would-be tackler, or SaRodorick Thompson, excuse me. And Thompson slow to get up.
Nice spin there by SaRodorick Thompson. Deshaun White comes in, perfect position to make the tackle, lowers his head, and SaRodorick Thompson spinning, making the tackler miss and moving forward on a nice pickup on 1st down.
He took a shot to the head too.
So 2nd down and 4 for the Red Raiders. Keep it on the ground. Brooks trying to bounce it to the outside, and he does get back to the line of scrimmage and maybe a 1-yard gain. Key Lawrence with the trip up, 3rd down.
One thing that I've noticed, Tom, I don't know if you see it from field level, but this Oklahoma team running to the football. Key Lawrence again setting the edge. Deshaun White coming to help get them down. Pursuit to the football here in the first half has been good. And here on this third and very manageable, Donovan Smith as a runner. I think they unlocked that aspect of his game because he could be a straight-up playmaker in that regard.
Oklahoma trying to get a stop here and get the ball back to the offense, which hasn't been stopped today. Save that last possession. And they come up with a stop on third down. They hand it off to White. Maybe Texas Tech called that particular play knowing that it would go for it on fourth down if they didn't get the first, and that's what they're going to do.
Job on the interior of that Oklahoma defense, and a big fourth down here for Texas Tech. Going to have any chance of getting back in this ball game. Going to have to convert here. Last time they're at 4th and 2, Donovan Smith stood strong in the pocket and delivered a strike.
Smith, it's tipped and it's intercepted. Off the hands of a receiver and picked off by the Sooners. It's Justin Broyles coming away with it for OU.
Rolling on the field, an interception.
So another takeaway for the Oklahoma defense. Sooners up 24. Welcome back to Norman, Oklahoma. Coca-Cola Zero Sugar is a proud sponsor of ESPN College Football.
Okay, so let's go look at this last play. Now look, Donovan Smith is young, he's inexperienced, he's still trying to figure out. This is man-to-man coverage. Look at Taj Brooks work his way out of the backfield into the flats. Nobody accounts for the running back out of the backfield. Donovan Smith tries to dump it down behind his receiver. It's a tip drill and a pick. He just looks over to his right in the flats. His running back is wide open. It's a first down, and there's a lot of green grass out in front. Instead, it's another Oklahoma takeaway, second here on the afternoon.
And they're plus 12 in the turnover ratio during the 16-game win streak, which looks like it's about to go to 17. They lead 31-7. Play action here. Williams setting up, going downtown. Mims is there. Touchdown, Oklahoma. Fifth touchdown pass today for Caleb Williams.
Hard play action pass. It freezes that center safety Monroe, and the deep post. Wide open Marvin Mims as he turns around, catches the football, and walks into the end zone. Fifth touchdown pass on the day for Caleb Williams. The Texas Tech run defense, they've been very aggressive. Oklahoma utilizing play action, middle of the field wide open. Another touchdown.
And the second touchdown catch for Marvin Mims as the Sooners have blown it open. They lead 38-7. Caleb Williams continues to shine for OU.
ESPN, home of the College Football Playoff Semifinals. Friday, December 31st on ESPN.
And the first rankings come out Tuesday. Where will Oklahoma be? Caleb Williams is certainly helping the Sooners' cause with a 5-touchdown performance and a true freshman record at Oklahoma. 349 through the air with the 5 touchdowns. He has been near perfect. He's had a couple drops and a couple of throwaways, but we haven't seen many errant passes. Touchback. Texas Tech will start this drive on its 25-yard line, down 38-7. Almost time, as we mentioned, for the first college football playoff rankings release. So here is our all-state playoff predictor. All right, so we all have Georgia 1. Dusty, you and I have Michigan State 2. Tom has Ohio State 2. I've got Oklahoma 3. You do as well. Tom has Alabama 3. And Dusty, you're the only one with Cincinnati in
that win at Notre Dame. I'm going to give them credit for that. And
Don't forget Tuesday, November 2nd on ESPN. We'll have the College Football Playoff Top 25 show presented by Allstate. Can we go back to that, guys? Let's go back to our predictions for the College Football Playoff rankings. So I want your guys' reasoning as to why you picked what you picked.
So I've got here Oklahoma, if they hold on to this game, which as impressive as they've looked all season, they're going to go to 17 straight wins. Winning does matter. Cincinnati went into South Bend and got a big win. They're still undefeated. And for Ohio State, I mean, look, do I think Ohio State could potentially beat Michigan State? Sure. But until they play, I'm going to have to see it on the field. They do have the loss at home to Oregon. And then for Alabama, again, there's a lot of football left to be played. And those teams are clearly unbelievably talented and can move up. But as it sits here right now, I'm going to reward undefeated probably a little bit more than other people.
For me, I would ask both of you, if Michigan State and Ohio State played tomorrow, who do you think would win?
I'd take Ohio State.
Okay. And from what we saw last week, and I understand that, obviously Ohio State's schedule is starting to come down the stretch and get really, really strong. But that's one of those football teams that you better be prepared to score 40, and they're going to have to help you.
Donovan Smith with a strike to Ezekama down to the 35. Look, it's the 4 best teams. Because Michigan State just beat a really good top 10 Michigan team, they have a better win than Ohio State does. That's why I have them at number 2. And I have Oklahoma 3. I think Ohio State right now is the best one-loss team. That's why I have them in the top 4 and Alabama at 5.
My only thing, and I agree, I think the potential for Ohio State is there. Who have they beaten, though?
True.
Their best wins week 1 against Minnesota. And, if they can navigate through the rest of the season, they're going to be in the top 4. If they win out and they win the Big Ten championship, they're going to be in there. But I just need them to actually beat the best team they played this year. They lost to at home in week 2 to Oregon.
Donovan Smith on 2nd and 3, just going to hand it off here. And no running room for Brooks. He'll lose a couple. Fans, don't forget to go to ESPN.com/Allstate Playoff Predictor to check out your team's chances to make the college football playoff. So one of us had Cincinnati in the top 4. The other 2 did not. If Cincinnati goes undefeated and there is not complete chaos in the rest of the conferences, meaning like Georgia stays unbeaten and Oklahoma,
they're not going to make it. They need help.
Okay.
I think that they're going to need help.
Me too.
In other words, they're going to need to go undefeated and have some chaos in the other conferences to get it.
Absolutely, yeah. As a common motion, keep an eye on him.
And it's the tight end Mason Tharp, the 6'9" tight end that moves the chains. And again, Tuesday night, first college football playoff rankings show, 7 Eastern time, presented by Allstate.
I know this. There's going to be a lot of conversation after that show on Tuesday night, which part of the great thing about this sport we get to cover, right?
Yep.
Because it gives you a sense of what the committee's thinking right away about teams like Cincinnati. Where'd they have them in that first ranking? A lot of movement here. Is there a team that we think is going to be outside the top 10? Because it always seems like there is a team outside the top 10 in those first rankings.
False start, number 51. Offense, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
A team outside the top 10, and just what we're guessing is going to be outside the top 10, because obviously don't have the rankings, that might find its way into the top 4 when it's all said and done.
Wake would be a stretch, but they're playing great football.
And they're undefeated.
And they're 13 right now.
Okay.
So that could be one.
I would agree with that. I don't know where Ole Miss will be, but if Alabama slipped up and Ole Miss can win out,
yeah,
potentially them, but I think there's a lot of names there, Dave.
Sparkman with a catch. What about another team from the Big 12? What about Baylor? They have the 1 loss, but they do have Oklahoma here in 2 weeks.
And what about Oklahoma State, for that matter?
Mm-hmm.
And Oklahoma State's only lost a narrow margin last week in Ames. I don't think that is going to be the case, but anything's possible. I think that's what we've learned watching college football in 2021. When we try to start making declarative statements and we haven't even gotten to November, I think we start getting ourselves into trouble. A lot of ball left to be played.
On 2nd and 10, Smith keeping it, trying to stiff arm, and shows that athletic ability getting the edge.
One thing we do know, guys, though, is the committee does value improvement from week to week. I think the 2014 Ohio State team is a great case study in that. And if you're playing your best football down the stretch, all of a sudden a loss in the second week of September becomes out of sight, out of mind.
I think another thing to keep an eye on is Oregon. And if Oregon keeps winning, how does a one-loss Oregon team impact a team like Cincinnati if the Bearcats go undefeated? Here's Smith on 3rd down and 3, and it's almost picked off and then almost caught, but it's 4th down.
Nice job up and under here by Nick Bonito. You're going to see he's going to work inside on TJ Storm. It gets that rip up high, that left hand right on the arm of Donovan Smith to deter the pass to Sparkman. Setting up 4th down.
Look at this defense plays like it has today. I mean, this is what we thought going into the year. We also thought Spencer Rattler would be the quarterback, but the way that they're playing on offense, if their defense keeps doing this, as Donovan Smith is in trouble right on cue here, throws it into the end zone, it's caught for a touchdown. Wow. Sparkman goes up high to pull it in for 6. Sonny trying to stay positive here.
Listen, outstanding play by Donovan Smith and showing Texas Tech Red Raider fans a little bit of what he can do. Pressure comes, he evades it, puts the ball up, and how about J.J. Sparkman?
He's going to be a good player, Dusty. Just a redshirt freshman. Big, great hands.
Strong hands to bring that one in, Tom.
Garibay on for the point after. So it's 38-14 Oklahoma, 44 seconds to go in the quarter.
Well, there's going to be pressure come right here. Brian Asamoah comes pretty much scot-free right through the A-gap. You see Donovan Smith moving to his left, knows he's got a size advantage with his big wide receiver, just puts the ball up, allows his guy to go make a play. Strong hands to secure that touchdown catch.
You got 3 games left: Iowa State, Oklahoma State, and at Baylor for Texas Tech. So, you know, Sonny Cumbie's going to have to make a decision. If Columbia is healthy, does he stick with them, or does he go to Donovan Smith and just let him roll the final 3 games? As you see that positivity and excitement from Sonny Cumbie there.
Love that fire, that passion. Trying to rally the troops, get them not to quit, keep playing, keep fighting. Never know what can happen.
It's interesting. Oklahoma, Texas Tech both play the exact same slate of games, just in different weeks. All of them have Iowa State, Oklahoma State, and Baylor.
Both have the bye coming up next week.
9 straight weeks. That's tough on anybody. Both these teams going to enjoy a week off, get healthy, and get right before they take that tough 3-game stretch.
Touchback. Our big lineup continues tonight. Saturday Night Football on ABC. Ohio State and Penn State. Wild things seem to happen when those 2 teams play. Ohio State certainly looks like the better team, but we'll find out tonight. Can Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs get on track on Monday night against the Giants on Monday Night Football with Steve Levy, Brian Griese, Louis Riddick, and over on ESPN2, Peyton and Eli breaking it all down. It's all available as well on the ESPN app. Caleb Williams staying in the game with the 24-point lead. It will be interesting if they still have this advantage at some point in the 4th quarter if we see Spencer Rattler in garbage time coming in with the second team. Kennedy Brooks running the ball to the right, and forward progress stopped after a gain of 4.
I think if you have an opportunity, Dusty, given the chaos of college football this year, the tough slate of games on the back end of the schedule, if you can play Spencer, play him. Get him involved, get him interacting so that he becomes back into being a part of this football team, because you never know what's going to happen when you got a quarterback that can run like Caleb Williams.
I'm with you. You know, I thought it was interesting. Lincoln Riley told us he's had a good mindset. He's helped this team. He said he deserves credit. And he said that, you know, he's really been good inside that quarterback room that he coaches each and every day. So I'm with you. It only does him and this offense good if he can get some quality reps.
College football on ABC presented by Arby's will continue after this message and a word from our ABC stations. Welcome back to college football on ABC, presented by Arby's, as we continue Dr. Pepper's Championship Drive Game of the Week. All Oklahoma, the Sooners trying to make it 17 consecutive wins. Despite being down 38-14, interim coach Sonny Cumbie trying to stay positive, get his team fired up to play hard here in the fourth quarter.
I go play for that guy. I love that passion, that energy. You're down 24 going into the fourth quarter. No let up, no give in. And let's be honest, Sonny Cumbie was placed in an unbelievably difficult situation this week, as was this entire Texas Tech football program.
Matt Wells fired on Monday, despite his team being 5-3. Here's a dump off pass to Jeremiah Hall for a first down. So let's dive a little bit deeper, because we did touch on it earlier, but you had Clay Helton getting fired week 2, which made no sense. You have Ed Orgeron getting let go, but he's coaching the rest of the season. There's Matt Wells' brother, Luke, who's still on the staff. What I don't understand, guys, is if you're Kirby Hocutt or the Boosters or Texas Tech, why are you putting the players in this situation, firing the head coach with several important games left on the schedule?
It's a terrible trend we're seeing in college football. It's terrible. It's disturbing. You preach all the time about team. Players don't quit. Don't give up on a season. Don't give up on your team. And what's happened here at Texas Tech? When they're 5-3, one win away from making a bowl game, which it's been a while since they've made a bowl game. This was the best year Matt Wells has had. And I just feel for these players. And I don't know what kind of message it sends. And I got to tell you, Tom, it upsets me. I find it alarming, the trend we're seeing now in college football, firing these coaches midseason, in my opinion, way too early.
It's already a difficult enough profession. And, listen, this is a program in Texas Tech. Imagine being Matt Wells.
There's Mario Williams inside the 25. Go ahead and finish your point, Tom.
Just imagine being Matt Wells. You're at the helm for 3 years, and each of the 3 years, you lose your starting quarterback before week 3 of the season. I mean, that's difficult to overcome, and yet still this program's in better hands right now and in better shape than it was when Matt Wells and his staff arrived. And so now it's Sonny Cumbie's job to get the most he can out of these kids.
And even if you want to, again, look at the big picture and say, okay, Matt Wells, he's not your guy, you're going to go in a different direction. It's got to ultimately be about the players. And you want your players, as they hand it off here to Brooks, and he gets to the 20-yard line and down to about the 17. I just don't know how you can expect your players to respond positively. And you still have 4 games to go in the season. You've been bowl eligible since 2017. You get one of those, I mean, it's at least a step in the right direction for your program.
No question. I don't get it. And again, I go back to that game against Kansas State. There's a 3rd and 34 where there's a very questionable illegal hands to the face that turns into a first down. If Kansas State doesn't get that, Texas Tech likely wins. And then he's 6-2. Then he keeps his job. Just doesn't make a lot of sense.
Not like we're talking about Alabama where you get to pick up the players to recruit either. Williams finds Hall. Going to be a first down inside the 15. Good job by Lukes to get out of harm's way there. Almost got taken out there.
A lesser athlete would have been taken out. And also a nice find by Caleb Williams. Jeremiah Hall in the flats, unaccounted for. And as he's done so many times today, Caleb Williams finds the open man.
Caleb Williams has had an unreal 390-yard day, 5 touchdowns, no interceptions. In his 3rd start, he came in for Spencer Rattler in the 2nd quarter of the Texas game. Led them to victory that day. They struggled last week against Kansas in the first half. They put up 35 points in the second half there, 38 today. Looking for more. Here's Gray, makes it a fender miss, and brought down inside the 10.
Boy, Eric Gray so elusive in the open field. He's a real weapon, catching the football out of the backfield. Whoop! Spin move. As he makes the initial defender miss, picking up positive yardage.
I've been really impressed with Caleb Williams' ability to work through progressions, trust what he sees, and get to sometimes his 3rd and 4th option as they're working through this passing game. And he went from the right, sprinkler red, all the way to the left to dump the ball off.
8th play of the drive coming up. 4 minutes gone by here in the 4th, trying to add to a 24-point lead. Get to 9-0 in the season. Williams in trouble here. Eludes pressure again. Throws a strike for a touchdown to Stogner. 6 touchdown passes now for Caleb Williams.
And yet another new target that Caleb Williams identifies. This is a good sign for the Oklahoma offense. Austin Stogner, such a red zone weapon, 6'6", great catch radius, but really you go back to last year when he injured his knee, hasn't quite been the same. If you could start to get him going as a legitimate red zone threat, makes this offense that much more potent.
And Burkich makes it 45-14 Oklahoma.
Well, it's been all Sooners today here in Norman. They wanted to make a statement, and a statement they have made, especially that man, Caleb Williams. He finds his big tight end in the back of the end zone for another Sooner touchdown.
Assuming they hang on, would be their longest win streak since 2001 when they won 20 straight. On the return, out to the 30-yard line for Taj Brooks. All right, 2016. Patrick Mahomes against Baker Mayfield. They broke the NCAA record for combined offensive yards with 1,708. Oklahoma won 66-59 in Lubbock, and on that day, Baker Mayfield threw a record 7 touchdown passes. The reason we show you that is because Caleb Williams is 1 away. He's got 6, which ties Kyler Murray, who had 6 against Baylor in 2018. 1 away from tying the 7th thrown by Baker Mayfield. Donovan Smith sends that one into the stands.
That game is a statistical anomaly. You referenced the yards. How about each team at 854? Patrick Mahomes with his rushing went over 800 yards. But the efficiency of Baker Mayfield, 7 touchdown passes on 36 attempts for 545. Man, Joe Mixon had an unbelievable game, over 200 rushing, 100 receiving, like it was just crazy.
88 passing attempts.
Unbelievable.
For Patrick Mahomes in that game. And again, 7 touchdowns versus 9 incompletions for Baker Mayfield. Smith throws that over the head of the intended receiver, Tharp. That's hard to do. He's 6'9". It'll be 3rd and 10.
Both these first 2 passes of this drive, Donovan Smith just really misfiring on his throws, not even giving his wide receivers and his tight end right there an opportunity to catch the football.
So with the numbers that Caleb Williams has today, at 8 touchdowns coming in, now he's got 14 to go with 4 rushing touchdowns. Is it possible, if, I'm not saying he's going to throw 6 touchdowns every week, but if Oklahoma keeps winning and he keeps performing, as Smith on 3rd and 10 again throws over the head of the intended receiver incomplete. There's a flag down there. We'll sort out the flag in a second, but is it possible that Caleb Williams gets into the Heisman conversation?
Well, he's already the 5th highest odds per Las Vegas.
Pass interference, number 9, defense, 15-yard penalty from the previous spot, automatic, first down.
It's on DJ Graham.
And here's a little bit of this DJ Graham. Seeing a little bit too much push off there as he tries to go up and make another one-handed grab, as we've seen on this field earlier in the season. One of the great interceptions you'll ever see against Nebraska. Much contact down the field there.
Graham, a former wide receiver. Smith moving to his left, takes off and tracked down by Downs and Ellison. So here's that play by DJ Graham. You see Adrian Peterson, Trey Young, everybody jumping in here. Former Sooner football and basketball players comparing it to what Odell Beckham did, and even he tweeted back at DJ Graham.
That's pretty cool right there. You're a college kid and you see Odell Beckham giving you love. Unbelievably athletic grab by DJ Graham in that game.
Got to run it on 2nd and 7, first down. White, but a flag is down. So let's finish up the Caleb Williams discussion here. How realistic is it, if they keep this up, that he's in New York and maybe wins it?
Well, I'll tell you, if he's flawless.
Holding, number 73, offense, 10 yards from the previous spot, Still second down.
Which he's going to have to be flawless to get in the conversation. Oklahoma's going to have to continue to win, and he's going to have to play great. But look, this season flipped when he was inserted.
Yeah.
This is a different football team and primarily a different offense with him in. And when you look at the sheer numbers that he's putting up, yeah, I think you can make a case that he can get to New York City. Can he win it? I don't know, but he can get himself in the conversation for sure if he continues to play like he has here today.
Smith sidearms it complete to Brooks. Guys, if that somehow happens, if it somehow happens, and again, we're asking a lot, there's a long way to go, but if it gets to a point where Caleb Williams does win, imagine having a scenario where you go into the season thinking one quarterback on your team can win the Heisman. You do win the Heisman, but it's the other quarterback who wins it.
I think he's in the thick of it because he's going to have an opportunity to play great football against the best teams on their schedule in prime windows.
Certainly if he keeps this up, good throw there by Smith. He'll come up short of the line to gain. Kuntz, it'll be 4th down and a couple, and they'll go for it here. I mean, again, we got a month left in the season. There's a lot that's going to change, but the point is Caleb Williams is really good, and he's going to keep playing well, you would assume, down the stretch.
Exactly right. Again, he is a freshman. He showed some freshman moments against Kansas last week in that first half. But, man, so far, it's tough not to be unbelievably impressed with what he's been able to do here in the latter half of this season.
Very joyful young man. You always see him smiling, talking to his teammates, has that infectious personality. 4th down and 2. They keep it on the ground, and it looks like Brooks got enough. We'll see. Should have it.
Dave, I think that's, you mentioned, the smile on his face, how he carries himself. I think he's one of those kids that can innately make people around him better through body language, through energy, how he carries himself. And there's a pretty stark difference in that regard between what we had seen from Spencer and what we've now seen from Caleb Williams.
Smith, arm hit, and it's recovered by Isaiah Thomas. He forces a fumble, and he recovers it.
Well, Isaiah Thomas has really stepped up for this football team. Let's watch him here. Earlier, he's been working from the inside as a D tackle. Now he's out as a wide 5 technique. Good hands, and he gets that ball out from Donovan Smith. Outstanding afternoon for the senior, Isaiah Thomas.
College football on ABC is presented by Arby's. We have the meats.
6 straight Big 12 championships for Oklahoma, 14 total. The rest of the conference has 13 combined. They finished 2nd last year in the regular season, but won the Big 12 title game, beating Iowa State. A win today, and they lead 45-14, will get them to 6-0 in conference play, 9-0 overall. With a bye week coming up next week, then at Baylor, home to Iowa State, and at Oklahoma State. Spencer Rattler is coming into the game. The last time we saw him as he gets an ovation from the crowd was in the Texas game when he was benched. He was 8 of 15 in that game with an interception. He was the Heisman favorite coming into the season, the sophomore from Phoenix.
He's getting a standing ovation right now.
Good for this crowd. Good for Spencer.
Marcus Major in the game at running back, and they're just going to keep it on the ground here with the big lead. And Major, a sophomore, who missed the first 5 games of the season, finally ruled eligible by the NCAA for the Texas game.
And getting him back in the fold is not insignificant. I mean, he's a little bit more of a bigger, more physical back, coming in late in the season with fresh legs. He can help them quite a bit in the run game these last 3 games of the regular season.
Rattler will throw, and it's completion. Brian Darby with a 1st down. Coming up later tonight, Penn State, Ohio State on ABC. You get Ole Miss, Auburn, and ESPN. SMU, it only helps Cincinnati, right, if SMU keeps winning before they play late November?
No doubt. That Mississippi-Auburn game, fascinating to me. Tough place to play. Auburn off a bye. Matt Corral, talking about Heisman. He's a guy who's very much at the top of the Heisman conversation with a big stage tonight.
Nice run here by Major. 9-yard gain. Flag down. Eric Monroe with the tackle.
Holding, number 64. Offense, 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Still first down.
Wanye Morris, they have their second team offensive line out there right now.
That's one thing that I think about this team as we've watched them. The offensive line has been a work in progress, and they started to play much better. They haven't got the ground game going today, but they protected well, and that's another area that early in the season they had some woes and question marks that they're starting to solidify themselves and turn into the group that we're accustomed to see under Bill Bedenbaugh.
Rattler throwing a deep ball here, got single coverage downfield, and it's caught by Darby for a touchdown. That's the Spencer Rattler we saw last year.
Well, it always starts with protection, and it was an outstanding job.
Defense, that penalty is declined.
Outstanding job, as you'll see right here. Plenty of time to survey the field, step into that throw. And how about the effort by Darby? Ball a little bit underthrown. You've got the defensive back, Malik Dunlap, draped all over it, pulling him down, yet still finds a way to come down with that catch. Excellent concentration by Brian Darby.
So the 7th touchdown pass today. This one, though, not by Williams. This one by Rattler. And it's now 51-14. You see Rattler getting congratulated by his teammates, and you guys talked before as they're still looking here to make sure it was caught. They did rule pass interference, so if it's an incompletion, it's still pass interference. It does look like he controls it all the way to the ground. But you guys talked about keeping Rattler involved, keeping him engaged, because you never know when you might need him again. 52-14, Sooners up big. Spencer Rattler getting his first game action since the Texas game 3 weeks ago with a touchdown pass to Brian Darby.
For Spencer Rattler, as he was inserted into the game, first pass since Texas, and it's a touchdown strike. I think even more important than the touchdown throw, the reception he got on the sidelines when he comes over. Look how excited those players are for him. Coaches, players, he's dealt with a very difficult situation, and all things considered, he's dealt with it about as good as he possibly could. And I just love to see, got a little love from the fans, got some love from his teammates. Good scene there for Spencer Rattler.
Oh, line drive right to Henry Teeter. Out to the 39. Back in a moment. 52-14 Oklahoma.
Penn State and Ohio State. This is the game a lot of us have been waiting for. The one team to hang with Ohio State in the Big Ten.
It's blocked. Grant Haley will score. Ohio State comes from behind to win by 1.
This environment, it's as tough as there is in the country.
Saturday Night Football on ABC, presented by Capital One. 7:30 Eastern Time, 4:30 Pacific. It is Ohio State and Penn State. Meanwhile, Oklahoma up big as Ukama with a catch into Sooner territory. Inside 6 minutes to go here in the fourth quarter.
Okay, let's get back to that Spencer Rattler discussion, just in terms of him having the play that he just had, making the play, the reaction from the sideline here at Oklahoma. I think the biggest thing in all of this is he's seeing the bigger picture. He realizes that ultimately, regardless of what happens in the future, he needs Lincoln Riley's help. He needs to be viewed as a team guy. And I think he's done a great job of not publicly making statements that could hurt him or hurt this football team. And as a result, when he's going to need Lincoln Riley to back him, his conduct's going to allow for that to happen.
Correct, because if it happens, if Rattler looks to go elsewhere and it's another college, not the NFL, you know that coach where he's thinking of going is going to say, okay, how was he when he got benched?
Exactly.
What was he like? How did he handle his teammates?
Was he a locker room lawyer? You know, all those sorts of things.
No question. It's a great point, Tom. And I would just even further it. At some point, whenever he is ready to go to the National Football League, or at least have his opportunity to go, they're going to ask about this situation.
Yep.
Right? How did you handle it? Were you a team first guy? How do you handle adversity? Every NFL talent evaluator wants to know in moments of adversity, how are you going to respond, and especially at the quarterback position. So there's no doubt him staying engaged, staying a part of this team, and doing and saying the right things or not saying certain things. He's really played, again, a difficult situation about as well as he can.
There is an injured player down. It's Jordan Mukes of Oklahoma. Collided with Mason Tharp.
And another point just on top of that, people get hurt.
Yeah.
I mean, you never know. I mean, football is a physical game, and, you know, Caleb Williams runs the ball quite a bit. You always need to have a backup quarterback ready, and it sure seems as if Spencer Rattler has stayed engaged and ready for the opportunity if and when it presents itself.
Let's take a look, speaking of injuries, what happened here. Big collision there is Mukes. I mean, that's a big dude you're trying to tackle. 6'9", 250-pound tight end. Mukes about 6'1", 200. Some helmet-to-helmet contact there too.
True freshman defensive back Jordan Mukes. Hope that he's going to be okay.
So while we have a moment here as they tend to Mukes, and hopefully he's all right, you know, thinking big picture about Oklahoma, just looking at the remaining schedule, you know, you get the bye week and then you're playing a hot Baylor team. You still have Iowa State. That game will be here. They just lost to West Virginia. And then you have Bedlam to finish the regular season. Is your opinion based on whether they can run the table? Has that changed after what you saw today?
I mean, look, I think Oklahoma, if they play their brand of football, I mean, they're going to be a favorite, and they're going to be expected to win each of the games they have remaining. The whole thing coming in today was the lack of consistency, right? And not putting it together on both sides of the football. Just because you do it once doesn't mean everything is fixed. But if this is the Oklahoma team we see coming off the bye to play those final 3 games, yeah, they're going to put themselves in a great position to be able to run the table on a very daunting schedule down the stretch in November.
I think what makes people still a little skeptical is why did they play the way they did against Kansas? What happened there in that first half? Now maybe they figured it out. Maybe they're past that now. As Mukes is on his feet. And
it's called not respecting your opponent.
Not properly preparing.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is. And I think that's the point, is that how you prepare, it's going to put you in position to have, you know, better success on the field.
They've been to the college football playoff 3 of the last 4 years, 4 times in 7 years, but they have yet to win. And only Clemson and Alabama have more appearances than the 4. And they hung in there with Alabama in a shootout. They got beat pretty handily by that great LSU offense. This is where they were in the first poll in the 4 years that they made it, for the last 5. And
never been inside the top 4.
Right, to start. They will be this week. Question is where. Here's Smith in trouble and dives forward for about 3 or 4. And if Ohio State wins tonight with a win over a ranked team, does that improve? Oklahoma again got jumped by Alabama. Alabama's off. That's why I said I'm just really interested to see where the committee has, if Ohio State wins, where they have Ohio State. I mean, Georgia's going to be 1. Where do they have Michigan State? Where do they have a 1-loss Alabama team? And then the big one to me, where do they have Cincinnati?
I got another big one you didn't mention. Where do they have Oregon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, of all the teams, Oregon's got the best win.
True.
I mean, you know, and again, I'd even mention that was without Kayvon Thibodeau, who's now back healthy and a unbelievably disruptive force for that defense. So I'm saying there's going to be all kinds of debate after Tuesday night. Those initial CFP rankings are released.
Right, is the Michigan State win at home over Michigan bigger than the Oregon win at Ohio State? A lot of room for White, and he's inside the 2. 1st and goal.
Tell you what, guys, it hasn't been easy for Alabama either. You look at the Tennessee game, obviously the loss on the road to Texas A&M. It hasn't been as effortless as we become accustomed to seeing it. You know, we get conditioned and spoiled sometimes, I guess, to see, you know, an Alabama be in Alabama or a Clemson be in Alabama, and then when they're not, it becomes more magnified.
Don't forget that Florida game too that came down to a 2-point conversion.
Right.
So first down and goal. Into the end zone is White for the touchdown. The third touchdown rushing for Xavier White, the former walk-on.
This is really close. Xavier White leans forward right there at the front of the goal line. As Jordan Kelly makes that tackle, kind of tackles him forward. As White was extending for the front of the goal line. I don't know. I think he's a little bit short, to be honest, guys.
I thought so too. I thought the knee was down.
The ball hit the ground before the goal line.
Right. Yeah. Looks like it's going to stand. They're not even going to. They obviously review everything, but not a situation here where they're going to review it any further. And Garibay makes it 52-21. Oklahoma is going to go to 9-0. This will be 17 consecutive wins. That is the longest active win streak. Georgia is number 2 with 12 in a row, and that includes today. And then you got look at UTSA. They're tied for 3rd along with Cincinnati and Michigan State at 8 straight.
UTSA potentially significant for some of this crowd. Jeff Traylor is going to be a name that I think probably has already been thrown out there as a potential replacement for Texas Tech. Sonny Dykes another name, but that's impressive, man. Look, and again, I know it has not been pretty, as we showed the graphic coming in, how some of these wins for Oklahoma have been very narrow. But having the ability to just find a way to win, I mean, there's something to be said about that.
I think it makes you a better football team when it's not easy.
Biggest key for them, though, back to your point about this daunting schedule, they're going to have to continue to get better and better and play with a level of consistency on both sides of the ball. And I think that really goes back to on the practice field, the week of preparation leading up. Can they continue to pull that out of their players each and every week and really peak at the end of the season? If they can, all the lofty expectations and goals this team had before the season are still out there in front of them to go potentially go try to achieve.
Well, you talked about the opening at Texas Tech as we have a touchback here. Sonny Cumbie auditioning for the job. But since Mike Leach, and think how successful Mike Leach was at Texas Tech. Winning record in all 10 seasons. Number 2 ranking in 2008. Best in program history. And that huge win at night against Texas. Since then, 3 different coaches, 7 losing seasons, 5 bowl appearances. Losing record in Big 12 action every year. Matt Wells fired this week in the middle of season number 3 with a 13-17 record. And Sonny Cumbie, the interim coach for the rest of the season. Major with a gain of 8.
The job Mike Leach did over 10 years, incredible. I mean, it really is. I don't think it's talked about or spoken about enough. And then you look at all the coaches from those teams, 2 of them managing these sidelines right now, and they're littered all throughout college football. It was an unbelievable run there in Lubbock, and I think that he set the bar so high. That's what the fan base, that's what the program, they want to try to get back to that level. And you just kind of wonder, was that lightning in a bottle with Mike Leach there in Lubbock, or can they get back to that same level? Having winning seasons every year, going bowling every year, and being in the Big 12 and the national conversation, on different sets of circumstances.
And Tom, obviously you're the national recruiting director for ESPN.
Yep.
Just how difficult is it to recruit to Texas Tech?
Well, I think it's significantly difficult, particularly under normal circumstances. And when you consider the pandemic, this is a coaching staff that hasn't been able to go out on the road since, 2019. So you're at an outpost destination, and you can't get kids on campus in person, and you can't get off campus to go see them. All it does is magnify the difficulty of the job. And so, so much I think of this particular job is going to be the right fit, right? A guy that just fits their makeup, what they are, what they want to be versus what they think they are. And I believe that's going to have to come from somebody with Texas area roots.
Yeah, totally agree, Tom. Talking with Lincoln Riley on Wednesday. He kind of echoed those sentiments. That's obviously his alma mater where he went to school. He has a lot of pride in that program. And we asked him that specifically, and that's exactly what he said. It's a fit job and somebody who embodies the same values, much like a lot of different jobs around the country are, but maybe even Texas Tech more so than others is, man, big collision there with Eric Monroe and Marcus Major.
There's some talking going on too. Monroe will have to leave for a play.
Pads popping, little counter scheme action.
Ooh, Marcus Major lowered the boom on Monroe.
He is a thick, physical runner, and you can just tell he got some fresh legs. The rest of these Sooners have been playing 9 straight weeks, and Marcus Major is out here looking as spry and fresh as anybody we've seen on the field today.
Texas Tech keeping a lot of its starters out there in defense. Final minute here in Norman. Spencer Rattler coming in here late in the 4th quarter, does have a touchdown pass as Major gets the first down. Then he fumbles the ball out of bounds. Sooners will have 2 weeks to get ready for a game at Baylor. Baylor has TCU next week.
Big 12 race in the month of November. It's going to be fun. Baylor's playing some great football. Oklahoma has to go to there. Oklahoma State, again, almost put themselves in position to win at Iowa State a week ago. Oklahoma has to travel to Stillwater. It's going to be a race to get to Arlington once again this season. It sets up for what should be a highly competitive month of November here within this conference.
Today was not competitive. Oklahoma rolls 52-21. Lincoln Riley will go offer words of encouragement to his close friend Sonny Cumbie. They were at Texas Tech together. Lincoln knows how difficult a challenge is ahead for Sonny Cumbie. And Tom is with Lincoln Riley.
Hold on just 1 second, guys. A lot of people on these two staffs that obviously Coach Riley very, very familiar with. Coach, I remember after week 1, I asked you to assess your offense's performance, and you said spotty. How would you assess it today?
Yeah, we were better today. You know, we threw it well. Got the run game going a little bit better there in the second half. So guys made some competitive plays, blocked hard. So just a good, complete team effort all the way around.
You said this week that your football team prepared well and they practiced well. Is that a direct reflection of maybe their personal pride?
Yeah, I mean, shoot, it's a reflection of you're 8-0 now, 9-0 with everything in the world in front of you, and we're excited about where we're headed. This has typically been, you know, our time of year where we've played our best. We call it Championship November here. It's here now, and so we love this time of year. We put ourselves in great position, and we're ready to try to play our best ball.
How excited were you for Spencer today?
It was awesome, man. So again, it's the narrative outside is not what happens inside, and I think everybody saw that. You know, great for the fans to respond, the whole team to respond. You know, that room's been great. Caleb's been great. Spencer's been great. They've been a joy to coach.
All right, thank you, Coach.
All right, thanks. Appreciate it.
To echo Lincoln's sentiment about where the Sooners are, yeah, you can poke holes in some places of things along the way, but here they are. They're 9-0. There's only a few undefeated teams left in college football, and Oklahoma is one of them. For Dusty Dvorak, Tom Luginbill, our entire ABC crew, I'm Dave Pasch. Oklahoma rolls 52-21 over Texas Tech. True freshman quarterback Caleb Williams, 6 touchdown passes as we go back to the studio.